Okay, and just like that, it's time for some cooking. That's probably the most abrupt and 180-degree transition we've ever done on stream before, but you know what? I wanted to do this shit yesterday. I did do this shit yesterday, but unfortunately technology did not cooperate, but it's okay. Now we get to do it today, and if anything, it means that we get to, I don't know, I get to watch along with you guys, and I get to enjoy along with you guys, and we can skip over the boring shit, because there was kind of some boring shit, not gonna lie. And, I suppose without really needing to go into too much detail, I guess we can just kind of start, to be honest. I don't really think I need to dwell too much on like what the plan was, since I guess I'll just kind of tell you as we do it. Let's do it. Oh, okay, I guess we can get rid of this now, huh? Alright, so I'm sure I'll commentate along the way, but we did a little pre-recorded cooking stream yesterday, and, well, here it is.
Okay, well, let's try this again. Yeah, so, hi, what's up? The plan for what we were doing today was going to be live streamed, and then I tried to live stream it, and it just didn't work. I came here about a week ago, testing it out to see if it worked, to see if the reception would be good enough, and it was pristine. It was amazing. It was perfect. Worked better than I could have possibly hoped for in the middle of nowhere. Yet, I guess I should have known better, because the day I come out here to actually stream, it's scuffed as fuck and not working at all, so.
Funny how often this seems to happen. I test a location, how to stream, like, stream it from that location, it's like, oh, it's perfect. It works 100% well, connection super strong, stream never, like, bitrate never drops. And then I go a week later, and all of a sudden the cell phone reception has just magically disappeared. Funny how technology works, I guess.
Whatever, we're pre-recording, so that sucks because now I can't talk to chat live, but oh well, streamers can be with you. Hopefully you just finished a fun Pumper Naxx, and hopefully you guys had fun, and now we can have fun doing this cooking
I'd say we
stream
had
that
fun.
was supposed to happen yesterday. Fuck me, dude. Alright, anyways. Let's see, actually this lighting kind of sucks. Let's turn it around so that way you guys can see the sun facing me and not the other way around, or at least like something better. Hold on. How can I get this lighting to not totally suck? Maybe like face like this way? Yeah, that'll be nice. Okay, whatever. That'll do, that'll do. So, okay, what's the plan for today? Well, I want to, like, first things first before we actually start, give you guys a bit of backstory about how this stream came to be and how what we're doing today kind of evolved over time. So, way back in the summer months, I remember it was one of my days off, and so I was like, fuck it, I'll go out for a little hike. And so I was walking through the woods and just having fun, like on a little public trail. And I thought as I walked by like a little kind of like almost picnic shelter, thinking, damn, this would be really fun to do in the fall and walk around during the fall and have like a fall wonderland stream. And then since a very fall related type of food would be pumpkins, well, like fuck it, I guess maybe we can try out some cooking like some pumpkin food outside in this picnic shelter. And eventually I decided like, the fall part, well, we'll do that for another part of the stream. So we did that for like the camping stream recently. And the pumpkin thing, I wanted to do a pumpkin related stream. In fact, I wanted to do it for Halloween, but I was struggling with two things. Number one, I was originally going to do this on my, like the pumpkin stream on my friend's property that I did like the pizza stream at, which was a lot of fun. And they ended up being busy on the day that I was originally planning on doing it with them, because I was originally planning on doing it with them the weekend before Halloween. So that way it would have lined up with like the whole Halloween pumpkin theme, right? But that ended up not working out because, you know, they ended up being busy last minute. So fine, whatever, life happens. So that delayed it, unfortunately. And then number two, I couldn't really think of a good main dish to cook with pumpkin, because like when you think about it, when it comes to cooking and cooking with pumpkin tends to be like kind of like an accent to a dish, and not really like a main part of the dish. It's not really like the main component of the dish, because it's kind of like tomato, I guess, and that it's like just kind of like builds like maybe the base of like a sauce or something. So I struggled for a while to think of what I'd want to cook with pumpkin, but I finally came up with the idea. So what happened was, like this past weekend, or this past week, I guess, I was at one of the comfy breweries that I go to, where actually one of my friends that I just talked about works at.
Why didn't I stream this yesterday? My brother in fucking Christ, I literally just told you not once, but twice in the past 2 minutes. If you don't know by now, I can't help you.
And usually when I go to that comfy brewery, and usually when I just kind of sit there and chill and drink some brewskis, I'll obviously talk to my friend when they're not like super busy. But also, I usually tend to sit there and just kind of do some brainstorming and think about what cooking stream ideas I might have. And so I was still trying to think like, fuck, what do I want to do for the pumpkin stream? And it just so happened that sitting like right there, like a little pamphlet that was on the little countertop at the brewery was talking about how the brewery was going to be hosting a chili cook-off, in fact, a spicy chili cook-off on the, what was it? I guess, I don't know, the end of this month or something, maybe like a couple weeks from now, whatever. And I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, spicy chili, spicy pumpkin chili, is that a thing? And I was like, maybe. So I looked it up and I saw a recipe, and like some chick had written a recipe, like, yeah, it's like an award-winning recipe that I came up with that uses pumpkin instead of tomatoes for its chili. So I was like, oh shit, that sounds really good. And what better like kind of fall dish is there anyways than chili, right? So I figured, okay, you know what, pumpkin chili, I can do that. So we're gonna be making some pumpkin chili today, boys. And we'll make something else to go along with it, because this is a basic bitch pumpkin enjoyment pre-recorded stream. Ugh, God, fuck me. But life goes on. You got to make it work. It is what it is. Whatever, dude. I got to say, it is an absolutely beautiful fall day outside right now. It's, I don't know, and then probably low 50s, maybe mid 50s. So got the basic bitch beanie on, the basic bitch flannel on, of course. And I'm at a public park. This public park, I believe, is called Fort, I don't know how you pronounce it. Owadanon? Owadanon? Maybe I'll show it to you on Google Maps, I guess, on stream. But anyways, it's a public park. You can see the beautiful, pristine Wabash River behind us. Extremely scenic, of course. And we still got some fall colors going. Like the fall colors have definitely begun to fade as of like a week ago, because obviously it's getting deeper and deeper into the season, and a lot of the leaves have fallen off at this point. But that being said, we still got some comfy fall colors, and we still got a nice little comfy fall day to work on our pumpkin chili. So first things first, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to prepare the fire, because we got to be able to cook, right? Now, of course, you might be wondering like, well, what are you gonna cook on, right? So today we're gonna be using a grill. Yes, we'll be cooking the entirety of our dishes today on a grill.
Not that sort of grill, but like a barbecue grill.
Now, it's not the ghetto grill. I considered that, but I was like, you know what? Based on what I'm cooking, I'm gonna need like a real actual grill with like a large amount of space. So we're using a actual grill. It's a park grill. In fact, it's like a fucking jumbo park grill. So this should help get the job done just fine. And we'll actually cook multiple things on this today. So what say we get that fire started up? By the way, I'm drinking coffee right now. Not really something I normally drink, but you'll find out later why I'm drinking coffee. Right now I'm just drinking it because I haven't had any caffeine yet this morning, or I guess technically afternoon, but it still feels like the morning. It's about 1 p.m. right now, so cheers, boys. All right. So let's get the fire started up, shall we? Because we need to be able to cook over it.
What I record with? Just my phone.
Yep, had my microphone ready to go.
Nothing fancy.
One
thing I noticed, by the way, I don't know, why has my microphone volume gotten so much lower? I had to like turn my OBS volume up to max, whereas I didn't have to used to do that. And like, I remember when I was doing the last cooking stream indoors here, the microphone was extra quiet compared to normal. So somehow I must have fucked up the settings on it somehow and made it quieter than usual. So I need to figure out how to like fix that. But anyways, whatever. If you guys can hear it, or if you guys can't hear it, just let me know and I can try to turn it up more. But hopefully it's fine.
Oh, speaking of technology, I think I'll plug you in, chat.
Filters dropping you have colors, not to bitch though. It's not using any filters. It's just my phone cam. There's not.
I'd say real time technological project to work on, but it's not real time, is it? Very cool. Thank you, cell phone reception. Very cool indeed. Okay, so let's see if we can get this fire started. Now, this park grill I did clean off in advance before this started, and I did kind of get the grates up to like what I think will be a proper level to get the fire kind of at a reasonable distance away from the top grates here. I've never worked with one of these jumbo park grills before, but I don't know, how hard could it be, right? So
how hard could it possibly be?
Now, it's got 2 levels here, right? It's got the top grate, it's got the bottom grate. So we're going to put the coals on the bottom grate and try to put the, obviously the stuff we're going to actually cook on the top
hey
grate.
buddy.
And what I think I'll start with here is just like a little, I'm going to do the same method that I've used in the past, which is you soak a paper towel in oil and then you put some charcoal like on top of that, and then you just light it on fire and hopefully it works. Question mark? I don't know. Seems like it'll work. If it doesn't, then we have the fire starters things as a background. If that doesn't work, then, well, we have our propane stove as a backup option, but hopefully it's not necessary to rely on that, because I'd like to think charcoal on a grill is a pretty reliable method of cooking, but then again,
Right?
I've been known to be wrong in the past, so let's find out.
I'll be fine.
One nice thing about this grill is, like, guess you can't really tell from this side, but it's got this nice little, like, working surface. So you can, like, it's like basically like a little table over here, so you can actually take advantage of that and use it for, I don't know, just food preparation or whatever the fuck you want to do. So that's fun. That's fun. Where can I put you, chat? That's pretty good right there. Okay. Raise you up a bit. Oy. All right, so let's soak this in oil. Okay, actually, let's have the charcoal ready to go too, because we're, oh, okay. You're gonna want to put this charcoal on top of the ultimately soaked paper towel in oil. And what could possibly go wrong with that, right? Yes, sir. Hoi. Stay.
I'm a soaking enjoyer, absolutely.
All right. Soak this bad boy. How much oil do you realistically need to soak
Cleaning the
an
grill
entire
first.
paper
My brother
towel?
impressed. I literally just said I cleaned it
This is
at
the equivalent
like
of 2
30
paper
seconds
towels
ago.
right here. And I ultimately will want to use both sides of this grill, like both sides, that side and that side. But I think for now we'll just start the fire on one side, and then we can always transfer some coals over to the other side if needed, right? Think that's going to get the job done? I guess I could hedge my bets and put it in the middle, and I guess just kind of separate the two that way. Maybe I'll just do that. I'm going to do that. That sounds like a good idea. Okay, that seems pretty appropriately
clean?
soaked
Well,
in.
then hey, you know what? You're free to
Oil
come power
right
wash my grill
there.
next time before I do the
Both sides
stream
missing
here.
a little bit. Hold on. Need this shit to get hot, buddy. Say buddy like that one more time. I know. Okay, so, cool. And then we just lay coals on top of this. Now, whenever I've done this with the ghetto grill, so I use like basically half the amount of paper towel and half the amount of charcoal, but we need a man's fire today, so we're not going to get shy this time around. And it's on a real
say that,
actual park
streamer,
grill,
but-
so, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in theory it's more fire safe, and in theory it's also safer this way. Or wait, no, I just said safer. But in theory it's more fire safe and less sketchy, I guess. How about let's
I
go
was
with
looking
that.
for the answer.
Okay,
The
now,
thing of like, there's more room
let's
for it
just
too.
place some charcoal like kind of directly on top of here, shall we? Come on. Oh yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure how much charcoal you should use when you're gonna start like a big boy grill fire like this, but
Spoiler
obviously
alert,
I know I
should
can
be
add
more than
more
this.
later if I need to. And yes, I have another bag of charcoal. This is not all I have, because that'd be pathetic if I did. This seems probably fine. Maybe add like a few more, but that seems pretty good. I guess I need this shit to be hot, dude. Need to be hot.
You can always add anytime after they light up. Yeah, you can always add
All
a
right,
few
little
more.
funeral pyre
coals,
right here.
or a dozen.
Okay.
Or half the bag.
And now the method that we learned from watching YouTube and some
After the
Brazilian
fact.
dude who did a bunch of Brazilian barbecue said to basically light all 4 corners of the paper towel, and that way it will basically ignite evenly from all 4 sides. That's the idea, at least. Okay, let's see.
That nice little pile right there. Wow.
And if I burn the entire park down, well, hey, that's content, baby. Okay.
Dude, this shit lighter never
Using
works.
this lighter is so worthless outdoors, dude. It works fine indoors, but outdoors shit doesn't work. I got matches. I think I'll just use the matches. Yeah, fuck it. Every time I bring the stupid lighter for these outdoor fire streams, it never works, man. I don't even know why I bother. But that's okay. We got one that I'm pretty sure will work. Hey, look at that. Okay. Okay, that side. Light for me, baby. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There we go. Oh. Okay, and then, I got hot. Hold on. One more match.
Streamer, hurry, the other
Oh,
corner.
quick, no. It's me even and shit, right? Okay, there we go. See, fire's easy. Just don't be dumb and just use a match. Don't be dumb and try to use a lighter. That shit never works. Okay.
Now it's
it
all
working yet?
burst
Can I
into
cook
flame
yet?
at once, right?
Now, one side already went out. Nah. Well, hopefully this will just kind of... Should get my tongs out instead of using my bare hands like this, but... Hold on. Let me rescue the match from the middle of this pile. What could possibly go wrong? And then maybe... relight for me, please. Thank you. Try lighting that again.
There we
Come on.
Just in time for the other corner
Burn
to,
for Papa
to
Dally.
burn out.
There we go. Okay. Got the wind even fanning the flames. Okay. That should in theory make that work. Come on, baby.
Old man rant. When you could.
Oh, you know
when
what I
was
forgot
young,
to
you
do
could
that I
like
was actually
matches on your
supposed to do that I
jeans.
completely forgot about? And this is also the
Matches
technique from
could
Brazilian dude on
spontaneously
YouTube.
combust, and we
You're supposed to
like
actually
it.
pour a little bit of oil on the charcoal itself. Now, you're definitely supposed to do that before you light it, but that's okay. It'll be fine, dude. There we go. Maybe a little more. Yes, no. Cooking oil's cheap. All right, that is sort of on fire on one side, kinda, barely. I can see on the inside it's still lit. Okay, hold on. Give it a chance. Give it a chance, boys. It's a little more oil. Yeah, you know. I think, despite how pathetic this looks right now, I think this is going to get itself going here in a second. I think this will ultimately light and turn into something we can cook over, even if right now it might look a little questionable. I mean...
I think I learned from the last grilling stream. I mean, I learned my lessons very
I do have
slowly.
something to do in the
fairness.
meantime, of course, while it gets going, but I just do want to make sure it gets going first. Maybe... Jesus. Okay, hold on. Let me light one more match. I am definitely
Definitely the first person in the history of the world to like struggle to light a giant pile of charcoal on fire, like in the open air grills.
the world's worst fire starter. You would think doing something as easy as starting a fire would come naturally to my pyromaniac ass, but it really doesn't. You would think I could, especially with how much of those survival shows I've been watching lately, right? But then again, they just like do one little strike on their ferro rod and just like boom, insta fire. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's easy. And then I have literal fucking matches and I can't get this shit to work to save my life. Literally, if I had to save my life with this shit, if I was like freezing in the Arctic, I guess I'd just be fucked. Come on. Come on. Come on. God damn it. Okay, hold on. New idea.
At Naxx go? All right.
The good news
Decent
about
touch.
pre-recording this is I guess I can just skip through this part if I have to. I can always just do a little fast forwarding. All right, broke that match. It's getting pretty smoky in there. I get the feeling this is going to light as is, but like I said, I'd like to give it some extra encouragement.
Any good loot? Slayers was the only really exciting thing.
Come on. Can't even light a fucking match, dude. Oh my god, man. Hey, look at that. Okay. Just put that directly in there, boys. And it fell down. Okay, yep, all right, okay. Oh, that little part though did light. Okay, I think that got the job done. I think what I was trying to do did work, even if it only worked barely. All right, is this gonna light? I think it is.
See a lot of
I
smoke.
think very slowly but surely this is gonna work. I mean, you can tell obviously it's smoking now, right? It's like, I think some of the coals are officially lit.
It's like a smoking pile of turds right there.
You can see a little fire in there, you know? As long as we get to the point where it just eventually bursts into flames and burns down into like a nice little thing of coals, then it's mission accomplished, because of course we can always just add more coals to the fire later and blah, 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 right? Smells nice, I can tell you that. I think this is gonna go. The only problem is, like, I think it will, but if I come back 20 minutes later and it's not lit, I'm just like, well, I can't cook over this, can I? If I had a leaf.
Keep in mind, in the inside little pile here, the fire was going, so
Odie?
it was lit at this point.
Yeah, like I said, from the interior, I can see it's definitely lit. If I blow on it, like, unironically, that kind of helps, right? Hold on, I'm trying to get my phone out of the smoke here, because I don't want my phone just covered in soot by the end of the stream. That would suck. Grilling tips with Dali.
Don't do anything he
just how
recommends.
you're not
Tip number
supposed to
1.
start a fire. There we go, baby. Now we're going.
Tested a blowtorch. I mean, hey, this worked. It just took a while. Doing a good blow? Yes, sir. Plenty of practice.
You know what always confuses me? You're supposed to be giving fires more oxygen by doing this, so that way they light more, but then aren't you, like, when you exhale, don't you exhale like carbon dioxide? I mean, I get that there's probably still some oxygen in there too, but you would think blowing on would be blowing carbon dioxide in the fire, and that shouldn't help.
Scientists in chat want to explain this one?
What the fuck do I know? Based on this fire so far, obviously not a lot. I can definitely tell some of the coals are indeed lit. That's the good news.
It's about a 3 to 5% difference according to AHA CPR guidelines a few years ago. 3 to 5% difference of what?
Okay. I think we're good to just let this chill for a bit. I think we're just good to let that turn into
Lungs aren't 100% efficient. It's mostly still just air when you exhale.
And
okay.
Get started on the next part, because we got a next part, because need to work on what we're actually cooking, of course, because yes, having a fire is important, but there's nothing to put on the fire. That makes things a little tricky. Right? You're going to burn. You're going to, like, be an entire thing, right? I mean, how much heat's coming off of this? Not much right now, I can tell you that. Maybe, okay. Maybe there's just one more end I can light with a match, just to kind of give this one more little thing of encouragement. This side specifically is not really lit at all. The back side, I think, is Gucci. The back side's
a tiny bit of flames in there. Okay.
Not so much. Time to do one more Can Dali light a match mini game. Fuck off with all the smoke. I swear to God, that myth about how, like, campfire smoke follows you, it must be true, dude. No matter what direction you stand or what direction you sit, the smoke is always going to come in your direction, right?
Always seems to happen that way.
Oh, that definitely... Oh, no, that went out. Okay. I think as long as I put that there... Come on, baby. All right, I think that lit where I was trying to light it there. As long as, like, the oil-soaked paper towel lit, and it did, and then we're Gucci. Okay. Yep. Nah, we're going. Okay, cool. Success. So like I said,
I know
let's let
maybe
that
this
burn
doesn't
down a
necessarily
bit,
look
and then we
like
can
it's
always add more
successful. You can
coals
have
when we
some
need
flames there,
to,
but
and
this
then
did
we'll
work.
get cooking. But, all right, in the meantime, I'm already tired. That's a bad sign, 23 minutes into this. Okay. In the meantime, let's work on prepping our ingredients, shall we? Now, you might be wondering, what exactly are we going to be cooking over the grill? Well, I already told you chili, yes, so you know that for sure. But we need to obviously make sure we have the components for said chili ready. Now, I could have, of course, just gone to the grocery store and bought myself all the ingredients. And, at least to an extent, that is what I did. However, I figured since we are doing a basic bitch pumpkin stream, I don't know if this is the right level, hold on. I figured since we're doing the basic bitch pumpkin stream,
Barbara, with the sub, thank you, sir.
we
Thank you, sir.
could get a little bit more authentic with this, all right? So I was thinking, back when I was talking with my friends about doing the pumpkin cooking stream on their property, one thing you might remember was when we did the pizza stream, we had that giant axe, right? And it was really fun to to watch me watch me use that axe horribly wrong and fuck it all up. So we were talking about this, like when we were talking about the stream, like potentially doing it, they were like, wouldn't it be really fun to like get out like the axe and just destroy some pumpkins for a bit? And I was like, damn, that would be actually kind of fun content. But I was thinking like, well, I can't just do a stream where we just like use a bunch of because their property, they've got a whole bunch of stuff. They've got the axe, they've got a sledgehammer, they got a machete, they've got guns. So originally I was thinking like we could just literally just do a stream where we just destroy pumpkins the entire time. I was like, well, that would be kind of fun. Like we'd have like just like literally just shoot pumpkins with like a shotgun. I thought that'd be kind of fun, but then number one, they ended up being busy on the day we were going to do that, and number two,
For what it's worth, we've already kind of discussed this and how about we could maybe morph this idea into something else later on. So maybe still to come, who knows?
figured like, well, what do you really do after you destroy the pumpkins? And then I thought further like, well, you could cook the pumpkins that you chunked into a bazillion pieces. Because, I mean, that's a thing, right? Like, that's how you make pumpkin puree in the first place, which is what you'd get out of a little can at the grocery store. So, with that being said,
This is the same spot from last time?
we have,
No,
in
it's a
fact,
different
brought
spot.
ourselves some pumpkins. Ah, look at that. Pumpkies. Now, they're not the giant regular-sized pumpkins that I think most people would imagine when you think of a pumpkin, because I didn't know this either until I looked into this, and my parents actually told me. Apparently the pumpkins you use for cooking are actually like these little tiny ones, because these ones are sweeter and taste better and less like fibrous or whatever is what it said. So that way, basically, it tastes better and it's better texture. Which, sure, I'll take their word for it. So we're going to be destroying some mini pumpkins. Or when I say destroy, not necessarily destroy, but let's call it prepping some mini pumpkins for cooking. And we're going to try to basically bake these over the fire. And then after they're baked, we'll turn these into puree and then make pumpkin chili out of it.
Little cameo by Streamer's
So,
Honda
yeah,
Civic back
let's,
there, by the
do
way.
that. Now, I did, in fact, make a trip to my friend's house right before the stream started. Or, well, I guess right before this pre-recording started. And you might see back there, shit, I didn't even realize this was in frame. You might see I picked up their axe and their sledgehammer. So let's see what we can do with the silly little pumpkins, or with these silly little pumpkins, shall we? Now, like, you might have noticed last time I wielded this, I'm not exactly a professional axe handler. Okay, my axe skill IRL is definitely at 1. So, come on, let's give me a level spot here on the ground, please. Yeah, my axe skill IRL is definitely just 1. But here's the good news. You might not have gotten to see me wield the Shadowmourne in the video game, but you'll at least get to see me wield the Shadowmourne IRL. It might not look quite as impressive IRL, but I promise it should still get the job done just fine, right? Okay. So, the idea for what we were going to want to try to do here is we want to split this in half, because from what I've read for cooking the pumpkin or baking the pumpkin to make puree, you want to basically have like half a pumpkin. Let me make sure this pumpkin's in frame. It's going to suck if that's out of frame. It is, okay. So you want to make sure that the...
I'm constantly paranoid that whatever I'm filming, I'm just not being framed right, because I can't see what's being filmed at the time. I'm just using my phone, right? So there's no little preview screen and showing me what's in frame. It's very annoying.
The pumpkin here is basically just cut in half, and you scoop out the insides, like all the seeds and shit, and then you just put that, ideally in the oven, but in this case over the grill, and then you bake it for like an hour or so. So what we're going to try to do is take the axe and just like straight down the middle, right in half. I've got 4, so if I fail the first time, that's okay, I can do a second one. If I fail the second time, it's okay, I can do it the third time. If I fail the third time, it's okay, I can do it the fourth time. If I fail the fourth time, it's gonna be a very short stream, so let's see what happens. All right. And yeah, it's not like I'm.
It's like
not like I'm
PC
any better
desktop
at using an axe than
background. I
last
mean, the
time.
colors do get washed out for whatever reason when you're recording footage on an iPhone. It is a little unfortunate how much it gets washed out because it was much more like, I don't know, warm looking yesterday, like color wise. But oh well.
I will admit that this time around, I at least have like a few tips from literally just watching that show alone that I've been.
Let me actually, I'm a little curious. Let's see if I can. Is there any like VLC thing they can use to like make the colors warmer? Is that a thing? Colors. Sepia. Oh my. I mean, I'm sure you could. Oh, it's saturation. Oh. Wait, booty. Probably not worth playing around with, of course, but how do you? What the fuck are colors? I don't know. Oh well, whatever. You guys will live with it. It's fine. Maybe I'll mess with it more for the next time.
Yeah, it's not like I'm. It's not like I'm any better at using an axe than last time. I will admit that this time around, I at least have like a few tips from literally just watching that show alone that I've been talking about. I know one of the dudes on the show that says make sure basically when you're hitting with the axe, you want to have like a wide stance. So that way, if you miss, you don't hit yourself in the leg, which seems like a pretty valid tip. So we're going to, I don't know, give this a shot. Outside of that, I don't know anything about axe technique still, but I'm just going to try to like, I think this seems like pretty good right here, okay? So let me just try a practice swing, all right? I want to get like right here on top of the pumpkin, okay? All right, that would have kind of worked. All right, hold on. Let's try one more like right next to the pumpkin, all right? All right. There we go. That'd been perfect, dude. Okay, so I got like the right like distance here. It's caked in dirt now. Okay, whoops. Didn't really consider that. Sorry.
Huge.
I want to ruin my friend's axe, of course. This is not mine.
Ground.
Had borrowed this from in a GDKP, obviously, with my not my gold. So okay, hold on. Now I get dirt all over this axe. Where's my paper towels? Here we are. How does one clean an axe properly? I actually don't know.
All these fucking axe experts in chat, as if you would have any fucking better idea
I
how
don't
to
want to get
handle
dirt
it
all over my
compared to
pumpkin,
me.
so let's go and clean that off real quick. Yeah, boy.
Would I like someone to talk me through a proper axe swing at some point? I think you're missing the point
I mean,
of what
whatever.
a
If I get a
Clueless
little dirt
Bachelor
on it, it's
cooking
fine. I can
stream
wash
is.
it off later, but
Oh, should I change this title too?
I don't want to get this giant chunk of mud inside the pumpkin that we're going to use for like actually cooking and eating, you know? That would be not ideal. Not ideal. Okay. We've gone to the vendor, repaired our axe, and now we're good to go. This is Shadowmourne, by the way. Don't let the plain design fool you. All right. Okay. Split in half, right in two, baby.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
Oh, shit, look at that! No shot. Did I really just nail that first try? Oh, yeah. Come on. Oh, shit. Come on. Axe skill increased to 2 IRL, boys. I might have just fucking clutched that the very first time. I was so concerned, like, oh, man, I'm definitely going to fuck this up. Nope, that is 2 pumpkins perfectly in half. It's really just that easy. Well, shit, I've got 3 more pumpkins. I don't know what I want to do with them, because now now we're already ready. Like, we already got our pumpkin. Got a little dirt on it, but that's okay. We'll wash it off. But, all right. Dude, like, that's about as in half as you could realistically get. God damn. Maybe, okay, what I should do maybe is cut off the stem, though. Maybe use the axe to do that as well. All right. Hold on. Dude, I fucking nailed it, dude. Let's go. Let's get the top off, though.
So surely the next 3 will be just as precise.
Wide stance. Hui. Oh, that was a glancing blow. Hui. There we go. Yeah. Gets the top off. All right. Yeah, definitely got some leaves and dirt and shit in there, but that's okay. We got water. I'll just wash it off. Okay. We're going to clean these up in a second. We'll use
trash
this
cans
actual
all
one
around this
for
place, too, which was
cooking
nice.
today, but I don't know, man. Kind of nailed it. We got to scoop out all the shit inside, and of course, like I said, clean it out, but okay. But in the meantime, I mean, we still have more pumpkins. I'm not just going to stop there. I mean, obviously, we got to keep going. I'm not going to use these pumpkins for anything else later, I can tell you that. By the way, the grill fire is definitely doing its thing now, so we're Gucci on that front.
Way ahead of you, Deamp.
Yeah. You can see the coals at the bottom starting to get gray, so that's the good news. We're achieving what we tried to do here. All right, let's do another, shall we?
Surprised
All right,
I'm not
so this
wearing
next
North
one-
Face. It wasn't that cold out. It was like in the
Let's
50s.
see.
It was comfy just as is.
Next one right here. Let me just see if I can repeat that. I just want to see if I can just get this in half again. Because, like, I don't mind. I guess I'd probably have enough space on the grill to roast 4 pumpkins, or I guess 4 pumpkin halves instead of just 2, right? Got to increase my IRL axe skill again, you know? Okay. Hoi. 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 Okay, that one was quite not quite in half, I guess. Ugh. Ugh. Well. Yeah, that was kind of what I was expecting the first time around, admittedly. Yeah, that one not quite cut in half, unfortunately. Well, that's okay. We can just do what I originally assumed I'd have to do with the first one. Hey!
Axe skill increased to 3. Axe skill increased to 4. Axe skill increased to 5. Axe skill increased to 6. Axe skill increased to 7.
Axe skill increased to 5.
Now you're behind, streamer.
Nice. Well, I could technically wash this off and cook this later, but I am not going to do that. Yeah, that was... Glad I nailed the first one, so I don't have to worry about like messing these ones up. Now we can just mess these up for fun. These were cheap, by the way. I think they were $2 a piece, so... Considering I'm a billionaire living in my mansion, I can afford to blow $8 on pumpkins I'm not going to use. Oh, we're going to use one of them. Well, that's the good news. Okay. Let's say we
Otherwise, streamer.
ethically cleave another one, shall we? All right, now this
Not
one,
like
like I said,
this.
we're going to try to do like in half again, because I don't mind roasting a
Streamer,
second
move it
one.
back.
Let's move this back a little bit.
Attaboy. Wait, not more. Hey, there we go.
Okay. Am I in frame? I'm paranoid. I don't think I'm centered, am I? That's actually fine. Okay, cool. All right. Straight in 2, baby. I don't mind having a second one. Whew. I think I've gotten a little too far backwards the last 2 times. Clean off the axe a little bit. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, not quite in half. But, I mean, still enough of a sliver that I could probably make this work and probably cook it. So, like, okay. Now, let's see if we can get, like, this chunk in half. How about that? Like, do it, like, this way. Yeah, I'm very quickly learning that I just got insanely lucky on that first one. But, you know what? I can still work with these chunks. These will work. These will still cook nicely, I'm pretty sure.
Would a knife work?
Okay,
Of
can I
course
get
it
this
would,
at
but
least
it's so much
quartered?
less fun.
No. Okay. I swear, I keep cutting this like into 2/3 pieces. Okay.
Yeah, first one was a crit.
Okay. Well. Okay. Is that how it's supposed to work? How the fuck did I nail the first one so well? Because these last 2 have been a disaster. It hasn't worked at all. Okay, well, that was all right. This There we go. That was easy. Yeah, I'm going to use these pieces. These are looking a little dirty. But I think those 2 pieces right there are usable. I can make those work. Okay.
You go back and slow
Wash
down when
these
you're
off
swinging
and
the
it'll be
axe, trying to
fine.
get the pumpkin off. You'll see exactly
Yes,
where the
there's dirt on it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I know.
It's just dirt. Not going to kill me. in theory. Okay, now we do have one more pumpkin, and I do intend on using it. Now, we already used the axe a bit, so we already leveled our IRL weapon skill for axes a bit now, but I figure maybe we gotta... yeah. I figure we gotta make sure we level all sorts of weapon skills, not just our axe skill, right? So,
Any bunkers?
we leveled our orc warrior's weapon skill. Now let's say we work on our human warrior's weapon skill, because I do in fact have a two-handed mace, Draconic Maul, but I've not actually trained two-handed maces in the game, so now it's finally time to do it. Yes, we've got the sledgehammer as well. Now, I've also never swung a sledgehammer in my life. Now this one we're not going to try to cook with. This one we're just going to try to land square in the top and just have this blow up in a bazillion pieces.
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens. Okay.
It's even blue. There you
Move
go.
this back over here a bit. Okay. How do you swing a sledgehammer? I don't know. I guess I should probably still just do this technique. Okay. Maybe do it like a practice swing here, all right? So I'm going to try to hit like directly to the right of the pumpkin, okay? Hi-ya! All right, that would have worked. Okay. Fuck it. Here we go, baby. 3, 2, 1, hoi! Ugh. Okay, pretty good. That was pretty much a direct hit on the center. Okay. Shit, honestly, I could probably just make this work for cooking. Let's do one more hit, maybe at the backside so I can split it in half. Well, okay. That basically worked. I'm gonna just rip this apart with my fingies. Oy. Yeah, not bad, man, not bad. Hell, the sledgehammer worked better than the axe those last couple of times. Okay.
Yeah, Castigator
Okay.
confirmed Abyss over Hatchet.
Yeah,
That hatchet
alright.
crit at the start was
I
pretty
can
clutch,
definitely use
though.
this piece for cooking for sure. This one, if I cut it in half again, I can use that too. Cool. All right, well, there we go. Mission accomplished, I guess. Like I said, we're gonna have to clean these off, but I can do that. Okay.
Axe throwing
So
stream
let's do
win.
exactly that, shall
There's
we?
a place in town that does do that.
Let's
I don't know if they'd let me stream
clean
there,
out these
though.
pumpkins, and then we can prep them. And I guess just, I mean, the fire is kind of, sort of ready to go. I'm gonna have to add more coals of this shit. Wash my hands off real quick. Oh, it's also, no, these are not my weapons of choice, so I gotta make sure these hammers and axes are not covered in.
Need a
of
stream
garbage.
an archer? Do I look like a filthy fucking hunter to you?
It's definitely a little pumpkin-y on the sledgehammer. Shout out to my friends for letting me borrow this, because that was very satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. And the good news is, yeah, there's some pumpkin chunks just sitting here, but it's a pumpkin. It's not like it's gonna hurt anything. It's not gonna hurt the environment, so that's good. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
pumpkin patch in the spot next year. All those seeds that were on the ground.
Clean off this one as well. That one's got some mud on it, but... Oh, or like a lot of mud on it. Might clean this off a little bit later once
Never cleaned an axe.
Once
Maybe I
stream is
wasn't
over, but-
exactly using the safest method here with a paper
get
towel.
the worst of
but
the shit off here, I guess. I'm a little
I still have my fingers.
paranoid to work just, wiping mud off what is a sharp edge, so... Might do this later when it's dried out a bit. Well, oh, I can just use these rocks and scrape it off, right? There we go.
This is my application to rock apes right here.
Man, if you're just out in the middle of the wilderness, just keeping all your shit clean would be hard, man. Like, if you have an axe and you're just swinging that to, like, chop down firewood and stuff.
Oh, it's
That
cleaned
would,
the correct way. Oh, shit. In that case, never mind. I know exactly what I'm
That
doing.
would suck when you don't have access to unlimited paper towels. Because obviously that's the only thing that can be used to clean anything off in this world is paper towels. If you don't have paper towels, I guess you're just fucked. Is that how that works? Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's weird that you started watching a lot of living in a van video. No, those are fascinating, dude.
Anyways,
I'd love to do it if I could just do it as like a hobby,
surely I
like
won't forget
a
those later.
week at a time.
Let's
like once a month or something.
focus on cleaning the pumpkins now, shall we? And who's that in the distance? Is that Joel? Hey, buddy, what's up? He's been chilling here this entire time, by the way. All right, so the coals are going. You can kind of see if you get like a nice little, give you guys a little close up here. Oop. You can see inside
So,
there.
yeah,
It's nice
it's
and
going.
the coals are nice and grayed out, and it's nice and hot. So mission accomplished there. If anything, I'm going to spread these out pretty soon so we can have like a broader cooking surface, because I do want to actually use 2 separate piles of charcoal here for 2 separate things we're going to cook. In fact, you know what? Let's maybe divvy out those 2 piles now, and then we'll clean out the pumpkins, because we want to make sure that the fire is
Mistake
going
number
for the
1.
next
Should have at
thing
least
we're
used
doing as well.
twice as many coals
Because the pumpkins
here,
are going to take probably about
and
an
should have
hour
just made
to
2
roast.
piles to
Maybe
begin
less,
with and
because
not separated it
we're
like
doing this
after
over like
just
an
lighting
open
one
flame.
pile.
But I do want to make sure that
Lesson learned.
we've got enough heat for the entire time. And like I said, I got another giant bag of charcoal, so I'm not worried about the prospects of running out of charcoal, but I want to make sure we have enough
Say that
charcoal to
now.
be 2 separate hot heat sources. Whew, that's definitely hot now. That's the good news. Okay.
Not a great sign that those new coals are not
This entire
immediately
bag, I guess.
combusting.
Fuck it. Okay. Whew, hot. All right, cool. So, while that's been chilling and getting going, let's clean out the pumpkins that we got right here, because they're nicely woven in 2, if you will, now. And I'd say these
Woven?
chunks
Is
are
that a thing?
probably
like
all we
there's a
need. If
correct word
anything,
for
it's
that. I
way
don't think
more
it's
than we need,
woven.
but just got to clean this shit out and
Cleaved in twine,
scoop out
perhaps?
the seeds and the inner fleshy stuff. So let's take you over to the table and do that, shall we? Let's join Joel. Hey, buddy.
Hey. What's up, Joel?
What's up? Okay. So I'm
entire
going to
area-
need some of my
Yeah, I'll
kitchen
show you what I'm talking about.
utensils.
This entire area,
some
like, to work
magical
with between
cardboard
the tables and the
box
grill
that
is
I-
kind of annoying.
Shall we?
Because as you can see here, there's no gap in between these tables. So I either had to, like, when I wanted to sit on this side to get proper light, I had to walk like all the way around every time, or just jump like over the tables. I should have brought my own table so I could just be in the sun the entire time.
Join Joel. So I'm going to need some of my kitchen utensils. So we got the magical cardboard box that I've used for every single one of these streams to help us out.
Well, keep watching.
How excited. There it is. And let's get the pumpkins. Okay, I was gonna ask myself, what do I scoop all this shit into? But I got this convenient little giant aluminum tray that I can scoop all the innards into, so that's nice. And then what else do I need? Oh, well, we got the water, I guess. We'll probably need to obviously wash off the pumpkins since they're covered in dirt. That's not a deal. And I think the last thing I need a little more
More
coffee.
natural flavor. As a thought, I'm not going to do any emo
The
stuff.
good news
right now,
is this
but
park has porta
time.
potties, like, I don't know, 50 feet away from where I'm standing right here, so I should be able to relieve myself of this coffee when needed. Which is good news, because I'm already feeling like I will. Okay. Let's clean these out, shall we? I gotta walk literally all the way around these giant little tables here because they don't have any sort of gap in them.
I already told him, streamer.
Minorly annoying, but all right. Okay, so I brought myself a little metal spoon for scooping this shit out. So I don't know, just get in there, I guess.
Yeah, get them
Now, I've
fees
done
in
this
there,
before,
streamer.
like where you scoop out the innards of a pumpkin. But it was like when I was a kid and we were just like carving pumpkins. I've never done this for the purpose of then cooking them after, but can't imagine the process is any different.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever cooked a pumpkin in my life until yesterday.
I guess you want to get like all the little fibers out of here, right? Because the fiber stuff is the stuff that you're not going to eat. Make for a rather stringy meal if you were.
Be crunchier, that's for sure.
Come on out, come on.
Basically a melon. Well, it's definitely like harder than a melon. Pumpkins are nasty.
All right. I assume like all these little
Non-basic
strands will
bitch
probably also
spotted.
burn off too once they're roasting in the quote oven. So don't think I need to worry about getting necessarily
Also-
every single last strand here, but
It didn't let me put
Ideally,
basic
we wanna
bitch
get
in my
this as
title.
clean
It's
as
apparently
possible,
against
right?
Twitch
'Cause
TOS.
we're going to basically blend this later into pumpkin puree, so we want to make sure that...
Can eat pumpkin seeds as well. Pumpkin seeds, in my opinion, are way too much work for actually how much food you get out of it. You like break into that little thing, you get this tiny-ass little seed, just not worth it, dude.
But that's looking pretty good right there. I don't really know how much pumpkin puree, like one of these little mini pumpkins will make. I'm 99% certain that I'm only going to need enough puree from like one of these pumpkins, or frankly even probably just like half of these, but...
You eat them whole?
I don't know for sure. That's why I saved the little chunks of the other part, just in case.
Chunky poops.
But one is probably already fine, probably already even overkill, so I'm not too worried about it.
Fiber. I could just, not eat them.
Okay.
That's fine. Never tried pumpkin, but have tried butternut squash.
Baby.
Yeah, butternut squash is tasty too, for sure. My mom made a butternut squash soup.
You might think.
Delicious.
Now, apparently, from what I read, and what my parents told me, the large pumpkins like have much more of these fibers that are potentially gonna mess up your pumpkin puree. Hence why you want the little ones, because apparently the fibers are much less numerous, evidently.
Sure.
All right. I think that's clean. Like I said, I think the rest of these little mini fibers in here, if anything, will just burn off when they're being baked. So next thing, let's clean this off, since I don't want to have this covered in dirt when I bake it. Grab my paper towels that are off in Narnia. Look!
Really should just, like I said, set up a table next to the grill.
The problem is with this setup that I'm using right now, like the table space and the grill are not like right next to each other, so... Bit of an annoying travel distance every time I want to transfer stuff between the two, but
How dare they not organize a park
life ain't always
shelter
perfect,
better
especially
for
when it's
streaming.
not just your kitchen at home. Is what it is. Okay. So like I said, let's clean off the dirt out of here. Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily absolutely pristine and 100,000% sanitized, since we're going to be baking this anyway, so that should kill any sort of bad stuff that you would potentially be worried about. But... obviously, you don't want your pumpkin puree tasting like dirt, so try my best to wash this shit off the best I can. Come on.
By the way, I didn't really mean to wear sunglasses this entire time. I kind of just forgot I was wearing them, so you get cool Dali for the stream, I guess.
Yeah, there's like a couple of flakes or flecks left on there of like of dirt, but that looks pretty good right here. That's about as clean as that realistically is going to get, so okay, cool. Let's work on the next one.
Yeah, instead of regular Dali, you get cool Dali. Hell yeah, brothers.
Dude, I still can't get over how amazingly, like... Oh, Joel, no! Oh, God, Joel, hold on, I got you, bud. Oh, the Joel rescue team. Oh, sorry, buddy. You're good. Hey. Is Joel even in frame? Joel's probably not even in frame. Hold on.
I cast the resurrection on him. He's good.
The glories of solo production. You have no idea what's actually being filmed at the time. Oh, Joel is in frame. I get baited by how wide this frame is. I would think you're like, Joel, like, oh, he's way off to the side right now, but okay, never mind, we're good. Hey, buddy. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm very impressed with myself. I got insanely lucky, I guess, on that first swing to just cut that one directly in half the first try. Because like the second and third ones that I did, I was trying to cut it in half again, and
campfire
it did not
smell
work out
that
well.
your clothes have after you have a campfire all
lucky
night.
Swing, I guess.
Something like that.
Now that being said, even if I had fucked it up and like not cut any of them perfectly in half, obviously it doesn't matter. You can still salvage the chunks and still bake them just fine. But I was trying my best to follow the recipe that said like make sure you cut your pumpkins in half so that way they get optimal roasting and that way they bake evenly. Blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, well I'll try. It's a beautiful day outside, by the way. It
really was.
It's I think like the low 50s. It's only supposed to be like a high of like 53, I think, today. I have no idea what that is in communist units, but I can tell you this: with the layers that I'm wearing right now, plus the kind of physical activity that I'm doing, I am not cold in the slightest at the moment. If anything, I'm a little overheated.
It's beautiful. Fall colors, booty.
So, just once again, just confirms that this time of year is by far the best time of year for just weather in general.
Rage.
You have to wear the comfy sweater, or in my case right now, the comfy flannel. You can be outside. You're not sweating your ass off, but you're not freezing your balls off either. You get some nice fall color scenery. You get to enjoy some basic bitch pumpkin stuff. What's not to like, dude? What's not to like? Okay. That's already getting there. This half's a little easier since this doesn't have the stem on it.
All this work, by the way, to create something that can be bought in a can at a grocery store for like $1.
All right, yeah. I actually might just roast only these two halves right here, simply because I think if I put more pumpkins on there, it'll take all 4 of them longer to roast, or, well, to bake, whatever, compared to just if I put 2 on there. And we want to make sure this shit gets finished in at least a relatively decent time frame, because don't need to turn this into a 7-hour cooking marathon. Although I could, it's not like I have anything else to do. Actually, that's not true. What I'm doing today, actually, is after this cooking stream is over, I'm A, returning the axe and sledgehammer to my friends, and then B, I'm actually bringing the leftovers of what is hopefully a tasty pumpkin chili to them, so that way we can all enjoy it for dinner. Oh, shit.
Fresh is better, fight.
Yeah, it's going to be the first dish in the history of Clueless Bachelor cooking that isn't solely enjoyed by me.
Is it so much better that it's worth it?
So I guess you could actually call it Clueless Bachelor plus 2 other random people you've never... No, I was going to say you've never met before, but you have, actually. You've seen them on stream. Clueless Bachelor plus 2 other people you've seen on stream, cooking stream. Should be adorable. Also, shout-outs to Dr. Hoppenstein. I don't know if you're watching right now, bud, but 2 of those beers that you brought me for the camping stream, I'm going to bring along with me as well, also as a thank you for letting me borrow their shit. We're going to enjoy those brewskis together tonight. Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Specifically the barley wines, in case you're curious as to which ones I'm bringing.
They were very good.
Because I think last time when you gave us a few of those Mercules bottles, I think I might have been... I can't remember which one. I think either they kept the barley wine for themselves or I kept it for myself, and so not everyone got to try it. So now we all get to try it. All right.
Very tasty.
Looks pretty good to me, boys. So like I said, maybe we'll just maybe just roast these 2 and call that good enough. Like these ones, A, would be a hell of a lot more annoying to clean out, as you can probably tell, and B, I think this is more than enough pumpkin puree anyways. We only need like the equivalent of 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree, and I think that's going to be more than enough already, like I said. So let's just send this, I guess. If anything, in the interest of time. All right.
I was trying to keep this stream to about 3 hours, by the way. Naturally, I failed.
So let me dump out all the innards. Nice thing about this park right here is it's got like all these trash cans just sitting here conveniently, so I don't have to worry about creating my own trash bag or where to put the trash. You keeping them entertained, Joel? I hope so, bud. Okay, now, you may have been wondering, by the way, why I even brought this giant aluminum pan. Like, yeah, it was kind of convenient for cleaning out these pumpkins, but I'm also going to use it for basically a roasting tray, if you will, for the pumpkins themselves to contain some of the heat. So let's take you over to the grill. Hold on.
Not that sort of grill.
Okay. Now, like I said, we got to split these coals in 2, so that way we can use these for multiple cooking purposes.
Should have used at least twice that many coals when I started the fire.
We've got enough to make to get that job done. Okay, so there's the pumpkin. And so what we're going to do is, with this, the way this grill works is you can lift like the upper grate over the coals, so that way you can actually cook above it.
The pristine Wabash River in the background, by the way.
First things first, get the tongs out and see if we can separate these 2, or this pile of coals into 2, because we want to cook over a different pile of coals here in a second as well. What side do I want to put I think we'll put the pumpkin coals over here.
Pure and as clear as described. Yeah.
It's ruined.
Only a little cancer inside there.
Put some more coals on top of both these piles as well, just to...
only a dozen types of pesticides.
It stays nice and hot. Admittedly, maybe I should have just started 2 separate piles of coals in the first place instead of trying to separate it after the fact. I don't know. Perhaps that was a mistake, but whatever. We'll make it work. Oh, yeah, some of these are pretty ashy at this point, just falling straight through the grate. Not ideal. I can tell you this, it's plenty hot. I'm not worried about the temperature. God
Is
damn.
it though? Is
It
it?
is toasty.
Is it though?
Oh, that was very toasty, in fact.
Is it? Killing it, streamer.
Okay, you know what? Maybe
you're
I'll
killing
actually
it.
use this side for my smaller thing. Maybe we'll actually use this bed right here for the pumpkins. Oh, because that's hot.
Is it though?
Okay.
I mean, it
Let me,
was,
A,
but
get some more coals, because
I really needed to like
this
start
ain't
with
gonna
twice
cut
as
it.
many.
You need more than this. And then we'll use this pile, I think, for, like I said, the next little thing we're cooking. But we need more heat, more heat.
That's the problem. Like when I do
We got
these
the,
pre-recorded streams, I don't have chat to help me
Lion's
out
bag of charcoal right here,
with the
so
mistakes I'm making.
lest you were worried about me running
What
out.
time it
Oh
is.
no, I got a giant new bag ready to go. That is, of course, if I can open it. We'll see. Okay. Oh, I figured it out. Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, I definitely just ripped the shit out of this bag. Whatever, dude. Okay. All right.
I miss chat. It's always better when I can do it live, so I can have chat live with me, for sure. Wish I could have. I mean, obviously that was the
I think
intention,
we
but
basically just want to rebuild the same size
technology just
pile as
doesn't
we
work
had
sometimes.
before.
so now you can see those coals instantly lit, so that's good news.
Well, you can tell it's hot because he's just immediately lit. That's nice. All right.
You know,
Now,
funny, in
the
the
only
moment,
thing,
it's-
obviously, that's a little bit tricky about using the, well, there's many tricky things about using the grill, but the trickiest thing about using this grill is, you don't
it seemed like I had a lot of coals in the moments. And I look back on this now, I'm just like, damn, that's like nothing, streamer. Like, why didn't you just use like shitload more? I don't know.
really know what temperature the your little quote oven is going to be, unlike if you were just using an oven at home, because the coals will just burn at whatever temperature they burn at, right? But I guess we'll just have to kind of keep apprised of how it's looking over time and just make sure we do some checks on it, just so that way it doesn't get too hot or too cold, for that matter.
It's true, Avery will. Just have people just live my entire life for me.
But I'm not too worried about getting it to getting too cold. I think it's gonna be fine, especially once we put the the tray cover over it. Because once we put the tray cover over it, I'm
Helping.
pretty sure
Every now and then, chat gives a good
gonna contain the
suggestion.
heat
Pretty
pretty well.
rare, but happens.
hopefully, maybe. All right, now let's add some more coals to our
Just
second
become a
little
perma
adobe
IRL
pile here.
streamer. Okay.
Wait. Hopefully this second pile is still hot enough as well. I mean, the second pile is not the one that was originally burning, but second pile I don't think we need quite as hot anyways, for what it's worth.
You say that, streamer, but
But these still caught fire, so that's good news. Oi. All right, yeah, these ones catching fire too, so we're Gucci.
spoilers.
Nah, come on.
Put it this way, this upcoming section, I'm going to be very glad we can just fast forward.
Perhaps I should stop using my bare hands. Maybe.
Okay.
Come on, bud. Okay. Now I think we are
Look at
cooking
that, two
with,
nice little-
well, not with gas, but something as hot as gas, hopefully. Okay. Now,
Nice little neat piles of charcoal
here's
there.
what we're going to do.
Both on fire. Pog.
That looks pretty good. And of course we can add more coals in the meantime later on if we need to, but for now I think this will get the job done temperature-wise. Let's bring this grate over here so that way, boom.
What's the TLDR of me
Boom.
and WoW? No more wrath, but still doing error.
All right. Two separate fires, two separate cooking surfaces, bog. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the pumpkins literally just over the fire, okay? And then we're going to take the aluminum tray, plop it on top so that way it can kind of contain the heat in the aluminum tray, and hopefully get these pumpkins nice and toasty.
Just like a copper wire scrub pad.
We'll see. So let's see. Where's the best spot to put these? Like just right. I mean, I think put these face down is the plan.
Yeah, me as well.
So like
maybe next time.
And then maybe here. And then do that.
So the idea of like the little aluminum thing was to hopefully contain the heat, just kind of like keep it contained inside there, as if it was like a barbecue lid.
Should probably put something on top of these just to make sure that the
should have been a little bit deeper, I guess,
doesn't
but
fly away. What can I put on top of there?
It's good enough.
It's like a rock or a branch or a log or something. Hold on, let me go. Let's go exploring. Let's see if we can find something. Also, I hope that doesn't get too hot. I'm not concerned about getting not hot enough, but I don't want to obviously burn the pumpkins at all. Look at that, beautiful view of the Wabash River on a beautiful fall day. Still got some fall colors going on. Comfy, dude. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything I can put on top of the tray, but all right, you know what? Whatever. Fuck that, I guess. It's not windy at all today. That's the good news. And in case you can't tell, there's like 0 wind, so I don't know. It's probably fine. Whatever. Dude.
It was fine. How do you test stream coverage? Do I actually fire up a stream at said place ahead of time? Exactly, yeah. I have a test channel where I test it out to see what the connection is. So when I did this on the test channel, the
work on
stream
our
worked
second
perfectly.
thing of the day. Oh shit, because yes, we have something else to work on, not just the chili. All right. Out of curiosity, I'm already curious to see like how these pumpkins looking. Are they burning? Are they Gucci? Or I mean, they're hot. I can tell you that. Fuck it. Oh fuck! What did I think? Why did I think that was a good idea? Oh yeah, that's really hot. Okay. Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Yep, it's hot. Okay, we're good. No longer worried about it being hot enough. Yeah. Okay. Gonna put that back on using tongs. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Lesson learned.
All right. I am a smart man. Yes, sir. I know how to use my brain. I promise.
Only mildly burn my fingertips.
These over here, I don't know. We'll save these for later in case we want to.
We're good.
Roast more later, but I think we're good. Okay. Oh, that was painful. Thankfully, I don't think I burned myself. Maybe a little bit, but it's okay. Builds character. Is that Gucci? The flames I don't think are directly over the pumpkin, which is fine because I want more like indirect heating and not.
Almost spilled a bunch of Prosecco on you. Oh, can't have that.
So I think it's fine. Where are the pumpkins? They're right here and here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. All right, now we got the second pile going right here, and now we're going to do our second thing of the day. Now, you might be wondering.
Keep in mind, by the way, so the regular recipe for making your own homemade pumpkin puree calls for you to put it in the oven for about an hour. So the hope was that these would be done in about an hour with this little setup right here. That's the hope.
What are we going to do for this next hour while these pumpkins are roasting? We could just stand here with our dick in our hands, or I guess because this is pre-recorded, I could literally just turn the stream off or turn the recording off and just tell you when they're done. But I figured, no, we might as well do something in the meantime, right? So this is, after all, a basic bitch pumpkin stream, right? A basic bitch pumpkin enjoyment stream. Let me, hold on. Am I in frame here when I am talking to Cam? I'll bring you down a little bit. Probably fine. Okay. I figured since this is a basic bitch pumpkin enjoyment stream, we got to be a basic bitch, right? Now, of course, enjoying pumpkin just in general, I would say qualifies as being a basic bitch, but I think when you think of a pumpkin-related item to consume and you think of basic bitch, what would most people think of? I mean, chat, now's the time to put it in chat. Hold on. I'll let you finish. Spoiler, by the way. Yes, that's right, chat. You did, in fact, guess correctly. Pumpkin spice lattes, obviously. Now, you could just drive to Starbucks and buy yourself a pumpkin spice latte. Tempting. But I figured, why not make our own pumpkin spice latte? We got time anyways. We got an hour while these pumpkins just roast, right? So I thought, you know what? Now's the time to give a shot to our own homemade pumpkin spice lattes. So the only thing that we kind of had to compromise on here is if you want to make a pumpkin spice latte, you'll also need pumpkin puree. And since these are currently cooking, I can't use these yet. So I might have also just gone to the store and bought some pumpkin puree for the specific purpose of using for pumpkin spice lattes. So, are we 100% using nothing but homemade pumpkin today? No, we're definitely also just using some store-bought ingredients, but hey. You gotta do something to kill the time in the meantime while we wait for the actual pumpkins to go, so we're gonna do pumpkin spice lattes the best we can in the meantime. All right, so here's the $2 pot I bought at Goodwill, so that way I don't have to worry about ruining this one. Put that over here for now. Okay, so pumpkin spice latte.
Character on the side of that pot.
If I remember correctly, at Starbucks at least, I think I don't know what exactly they do to make their lattes, but they're very creamy and they're very kind of like thick.
Keep in mind, I never really go to Starbucks just ever. I'm not really a coffee drinker, although I might grab some of the leftover coffee from the stream yesterday. But yeah, I don't really know exactly what a pumpkin spice latte was supposed to taste like in the first place or what exactly it was supposed to be like. I had a general idea, but I was just kind of like, I don't know, I'm just going to YOLO this and see what happens.
If you will. So we're going to follow a recipe that I found online. I have no idea how accurate it's going to be, but hopefully it's going to be accurate enough to the point where we can make this into a somewhat legit pumpkin spice latte. I've admittedly not really had one in a long time since I don't, despite what the stream might say, I'm not as much of a basic bitch as you might think, so I haven't actually gotten a pumpkin spice latte and remember what it's like in a long time, but we'll just have to figure it out as we go. Okay, putting my laptop on the barbecue cooking surface. Seems like a great idea. Why not? Need to be able to follow the recipe, so fuck it, whatever. Okay, here's the part where I'd say hi chat, but I can't see you because no one's chatting right now in real time. Well, shit. All right, so what we need to do here is see. So first things we need to do is we're going to add milk, pumpkin puree, and sugar to a saucepan over medium heat. Heat until hot, but do not boil. Remove the saucepan from the heat, whisk in the vanilla, pumpkin pie spice, and the coffee, and then you just mix that up and it's good to go. Now, here's the issue. A lot of people, when I read the reviews of this recipe, were saying the major and biggest problem of this recipe was that the pumpkin flavor was not intense enough. It wasn't pumpkin-y enough, if you will. So what some people said recommended they do is before you actually cook the rest of this, you want to like take like a shitload of pumpkin puree and essentially cook it down to a smaller amount so that way it kind of like concentrates the pumpkin flavor, and then you make the rest. So that's what we're going to do. Let me get my can opener. It's off in Narnia right now.
And get myself something to drink. Be right back, boys.
This, by the way, in case you're wondering, here's some Dali lore, is the can opener I was going to use for the Talladega stream that I bought at the dollar store, only to realize I didn't actually need a can opener because the can had a little pull tab on top. But this does not, so we've had issues, of course, for getting can openers in the past. Not today, boys. So here's the pumpkin puree that we just bought, that we bought from the store. Yeah, you would think that I could just use this for the pumpkin chili as well, and I could, and I've got an extra can after this one as a backup plan, just in case. But, this one doesn't have a magnet like my main can opener does. Fuck, how do you, normally what I do, I have like a can opener, like you'll put it's got a magnet, so you'll put that on top and it just goes like, but I guess this one doesn't have it, so how do you open a can without a magnet on top of your can opener? Hold on. Got a spoon in here somewhere, right? Yes, sir. There we go. Okay. So, there we go. Looks pretty pumpkin-y to me, dude. That's about as orange as it gets. So, it says to use 2 tablespoons of pumpkin. So I think what we want to do is maybe boil down something like, I don't know, maybe twice that amount, or maybe even 3 times that amount. So that was like, I'm going to go with, that seems like already a lot. That's fine right here. That's how much we're working with in there, okay? So, let's, you know what, fuck it. We can always just take some out later if we need to. Let's just add a little bit more. Fuck it. It'd be silly to make a pumpkin spice latte and not have enough pumpkin in there. Ah, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. I don't know how much this will boil down either, so like, if anything, I guess we can add more if it boils down too much, but how hot is this? It's pretty hot. All right, let's put it right there over the second flame and see what happens. It's supposed to be medium heat, as if it were on your stove, so I have no idea what the equivalent of medium heat is on this grill here, but we're just gonna YOLO this and hope for the best. Okay, I'm trying to give you a decent view of this. Hold on. Ground here is not level at all, so that's not ideal. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So the question is this going to get hot enough? Let me see here. Probably not. Let's add some more coals. Where's the charcoal? I found it. Not to worry, chat. I'm a man. I know how to use fire.
Got my
More heat.
glass of dirt here.
Boy, careful now. I am a man. Okay, come on, baby. Fire.
Yeah, by this point, by the way, the second little coal pile had gotten pretty pathetic.
Stove, huh?
I didn't really ever show the
Big
view
deal.
of like what the coal pile looked like. I should have, but I ended up growing it to be like twice the size of what it originally was eventually.
Oh, careful, SpongeBob. It's a little harder when this grate's already on here. Look. A lot easier when you just have the open grate above the open grate to work with. Once the grate's closed, it's a little bit harder real estate-wise. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good right there. Ah, fuck it, one more coal.
Or 10.
It's a lot harder
Coal
to stack
management's
compared
an
to
art
just,
form.
doing
Yeah,
a
I'm like
wood-burning
a
fire and you're stacking logs.
absolute clueless
Fuck, yeah.
bachelor on
Please
that
don't
one
let
for
the
sure. Like
charcoal
I've
skulls over.
rarely handled any sort of coal grills in my life. Not enough of a dad yet to have done my coal grill outs. Ghetto grill does not count.
Come on, baby.
I guarantee you this would have been hot enough if you just put like, you know, let's say you're trying to like cook meat directly
heat
over like the
source.
grate here. It would have been hot enough, but like there wasn't enough heat to
All right, I think we're
be
good.
transferred from the coals into the
Okay,
pot,
okay,
which
yeah,
would
pot's
then transfer the
starting to
heat
get kinda hot.
into
Okay,
the
okay.
food inside.
I think we're being chillin'.
Bit of a lesson that I
Do another
learned.
check
I
up on
should
the,
have raised the
pumpkins here.
grate up
No,
one
no,
more
okay.
level on this grill is what I should have done. So that way the
The
coals
heat
could have been
out, but-
closer to the actual like pots above it.
I'm gonna let the heat out because I'm just curious to see. I just want to make sure these pumpkins aren't burning. Okay, they look pretty good.
They're not.
They're definitely hot, but not like super hot on the inside. I think I might take this opportunity while the rest of this heats up to, or well, this side heats up. Maybe add some more coals to the pumpkin
It'd be a
fire
common
as
trend
well.
to stream. I'm gonna add more coals. I think we need more coals.
It's obviously just a lot of trial and error here, boys. Never done this before, and I don't think anyone else that I've seen online has really tried this either. Roasting
Well, I'm sure I'm not the
pumpkins or
first in
just, you
human
know,
history. I will
baking,
say that I
quote,
didn't. I
pumpkins
looked up a
over
guide for how
a,
to make like baked pumpkins on an open part grill, and nobody had
charcoal
any
fire, not really a
recommendations. So I was
super
like,
common
okay, I
thing,
guess I'll
but
just YOLO this
Here's
then.
the thing that like I'm kind of hoping for. I'm kind of hoping the pumpkins get a bit like of a smoky flavor to them, because we're making chili, right? And I think something like a smoky, spicy pumpkin chili would be really fucking good. Obviously, the recipe we're using doesn't call to make the pumpkins over charcoal, but I get the feeling if we do get that sort of charcoal flavor into the pumpkin, it's going to make it extra, extra tasty.
That was the hope.
For what it's worth, like, you know, I talked about how the inspiration for making this pumpkin chili was when I saw that there was a chili cook-off at the Comfy Brewery that I frequent. So hell, if this ends up being good enough, I could actually even just use it for the chili cook-off. Obviously, I would have to make it again, but you know.
Maybe you
Kinda
just
sick,
canned
right?
puree next time.
I guess the only problem is that if I wanted to completely replicate this again, I'd have to make another set of pumpkin puree over a charcoal grill, which is kind of not exactly a convenient process, but I don't know, I could do it if I had to. Is this getting hot enough? I can feel there's heat in there, but it's not. Feels like it's not really ripping hot. Gonna add some more coals to our pumpkin spice latte pile as well. Well, that one's going. Oh.
Yeah, coals to me, like I understand that they're at their hottest like once they're all like ashed over and they're all just kind of like sitting there glowing basically, and not like when they're actually on fire and producing
more,
flames. But it's
charcoal
so
Tetris, I
tempting to
guess.
be like, oh, there's not enough heat. Just smother that shit in
baby.
new coal so that way they catch fire. Because briefly when they catch
off the
fire, that does
side.
create a decent amount of heat. But as soon as they go out, then it takes like another probably 15 or 20 minutes
baby.
for them to come up to like full temperature, right? So This was the mistake I made. I should have just had many, many, many more coals prepared
I know you can't really
when I initially built the fire, not like only be like not adding additional now
promise you.
and waiting for them to light and then go out and then get up to full temperature like half an hour later.
I'm currently failing pretty horribly.
That was definitely a mistake. But I was clueless, and so now I'm slightly less clueless.
Okay,
There you go.
It's pretty good. Trying to listen to see if I hear any sort of sizzle on the pumpkin puree. At the
Whites
moment,
when they're the hottest? Yeah, like when they're fully ashed over.
But work in progress.
Or so I've been told.
Come on, baby. Get hot enough for me, would you? I mean, that's definitely hot. Okay. I mean, I don't think the heat source is the issue. I think we just have to wait for the pot to heat up. Now, the unfortunate part is, like, obviously we're outside, so there's wind blowing. It's a little chilly out here, so it's a little harder to heat up a pot here than it would be just if you're indoors in a temperature-controlled environment.
Yeah, I think that was a major issue. The heat was probably as hot as like a regular stove, as if you put this over a flame.
Work. I mean, when I put my hand
unlike
over
when
the flame
you're
right there,
indoors
like,
and like it's room temperature and there's no wind, like out here, it was being ventilated much more and the heat was being dispersed much more just by the fact that we were outside. It was like in the 50s or so.
Maybe.
That pot, $2 at Goodwill, was probably very expensive when new. Yeah, it's actually a decent quality pot. When I found it, I was like, oh shit, this is perfect and this is really good. So I'll definitely use it again for future cooking stream stuff. Because I didn't own a pot like this where you could, like, because I'm making a pumpkin spice latte and it's got those little notches that you can pour stuff. It's nice. So, Goodwill coming in clutch.
Grill Master Dali at the ready, baby. Let me spread this out a little bit, that might help. Let me just literally just taste this and put a little chunk in my mouth just to see if it's hot. You know, it's steamy when you take it out. Okay, that's good news.
Anybody often enjoy putting chunks in their mouth?
Yeah, no.
I do it for fun sometimes.
It's like barely even warm. Not a great sign. I mean, I guess my temptation is just to add more coals to this because I just in my head like more coals equals more fire equals warmer temperature, right? But like in reality, I think probably just have to wait for those previous coals that I put on to get fully encased in ash or whatever and get like max heat. So like I think that's the classic grilling mistake is like you want to get it hotter so you add more coals, but then it just kind of smothers the hot coals and makes it like less hot at least initially. So I suppose I just have to practice patience, but as you can probably tell, I'm not very good at practicing patience. Not really my strong suit.
Yeah.
But here's the good news. I guess since we are pre-recording, maybe Streamer can just fast forward this part. Streamer, just fast forward this part until you get to the point where the pumpkin puree is actually like hot enough. All right. Fast forward now. And then I'll just do like this little like, it's ready to go once we're being chilling. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do that then.
The glories of pre-recording,
I've never
I
actually
guess.
tried to fast forward faster. Faster. Okay, that's not really that much faster, to be honest. Oh, still got the audio too. Wow. All right. Well, anyways, we're just gonna kind of go like, whoop, because spoiler alert, this took a hell of a lot longer to heat up than I was planning on. Let's go ahead and just jump to like, yep, still not heated up. Starting to steam there a little bit. You can see like, okay, better. I'm still freaking out like, oh, the pumpkin's not not hot enough either yet. Fuck. Still waiting. Me still being paranoid, thinking like, should I add more coals? Fuck. Still waiting. Oh yeah, by the way, here's one part. Like, so like I put I'm like, is this hot enough? So I put my hand in the pot like for a good 5 seconds. It's just like, my hand doesn't feel any heat at all. So, yep, let's add more coals. Fuck it. All right, still waiting. Okay, I see some flames. Let's maybe put it over the flame now. Maybe that's gonna help. Take a little taste of it with my mouth, see what the temperature is. Okay, still waiting. Is it hot enough? I don't know. Still waiting. Oh, there we go. Okay, finally at this point it was starting to get like, now you can see it's steamy. Now you can see it's starting to reduce in there. So Finally, it was going like it was getting to the point where it was actually like cooking down a bit. What am I cooking? This was a pumpkin spice latte from scratch. Oh, well, okay. I was making like the milk from scratch, I guess, but I was making the pumpkin puree, well, from all the ingredients, I was making it from scratch. Is it hot enough? Oh, okay. Maybe a few more coals. Yeah, maybe increase the fire a little bit. Okay. By this time, like, the amount of coals I've added is probably more than the original amount of coals, like in the first little pile. Could have milked myself. That is content being saved for the OnlyFans. Oh, Joel makes an appearance. Hey, buddy. All right, so now we got. Now at this point, I was getting impatient. I was like, okay, fuck it. Let's just put a shitload of coals on there, just get this fire ripping underneath the pot, and call it good enough. And finally, okay, yeah, I checked the pumpkins too, and the pumpkins are like, okay, you can kind of see them getting some color there. So it seemed like this was actually proof that this was actually kind of working, and it was, thankfully. But still, just to even get this pumpkin puree hot enough to the point where it was cooking down. Oh, there it is. There was a thing. It took, as you can see, this was about 15 minutes right here. But anyways, seems like we finally got to the point.
Okay.
Thank you, Straver.
Okay. We have definitely added a lot more coals to both fires here in an attempt to increase the heat, because I think the heat is just not where we want it to be. For the pumpkins, like, I can see them blackening a little bit on the outside, which is good news. It means that at least part of them are, in fact, getting heated enough to the point where it's like getting a little charred on the outside, which is good news. But I'm starting to realize that in classic Dali fashion, your cooking fire is not as hot as you think it is, so...
A mistake I make every time I cook with charcoal. I think it's hotter than it actually is.
I will say at the moment, it's looking a little bit more promising now, so that's good news.
By the way, this pumpkin puree, it was cooking down here. It was just going really slowly.
Pumpkin puree is going to heat up. Like, it's been steaming now for a while, so like clearly it's like at least warm-ish in here. I don't know how much this is realistically reducing down to, because we want this to reduce down to like basically like a third or a fourth of what we started with.
Yeah, for sure, oily black mouth. Yeah, the pizza oven was the only time I think I've ever done like a,
I don't know, 20% maybe.
Primitive fire source that was actually perfect temperature.
It's not sizzling at all. I mean, you can't.
That one I fucking
really
nailed.
hear it, and it's not. So, so we still need to up the heat ideally, because we want this sizzling, because then we know it's definitely.
I never used that oven, by the way. My friends left it there. They didn't deconstruct it, so it could be used again at some point for something. I want to.
So I've tried to add more coals and like.
In fact, I was talking about at the start of the stream how originally I wanted to do this pumpkin destruction stream on their property with them, and ultimately they just ended up being busy and we couldn't do it. But the original plan I had was like, so after we destroyed some pumpkins on their property, I would take some of those chunks and we'd relight the pizza oven. We'd reuse the pizza oven and basically bake the pumpkins inside of that and use that to make the puree. And then I was going to try to make a pumpkin pie in that oven as well, right? Because it would have been like the slot in there would have been perfect for trying to make a pumpkin pie, but. Oh well, is what it is.
Well, healthy pile there now, and at the very least, I do see more steam coming out of the.
Just carry 8 pavers everywhere I go. Yeah,
of the pot,
seems
which
reasonable.
Is good news. But this does admittedly concern me later for actually cooking the chili, because I'm a little concerned that the chili will.
Finish your thought.
The chili will, A, take way too long to cook, and B, like maybe that it won't even get hot enough in the first place to cook.
Anyways, the funny thing about the pizza oven stream, so I've been brainstorming a long time as to how I wanted to do a stream where I could cook over a park grill like this. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to cook for a while. And I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do it. So originally, I was actually planning on combining the whole pizza oven idea with cooking over a park grill like this idea. In fact, this is where the kind of pizza oven idea first kind of formed in my head. And the original version of it was, I was going to build the pizza oven on top of a giant grill like this. So I was going to put like bricks around the perimeter of this and put the giant paver slabs on top of that. And the fire source would essentially just be charcoal instead of wood burning logs. Now, in hindsight, looking back on this, that would have been a fucking massive charcoal pile I would have had to have built. That would not have worked at all. So I'm glad I didn't end up doing that. But originally, I was planning on just constructing the pizza oven on top of this grill, doing the pizza, and then deconstructing it after I was done. I'm glad I didn't go that route, but that was the OG idea.
Not the ideal.
But I still wanted to use the park grill for something here, so I recycled the idea later for this.
We want to bring like the chili eventually to a simmer where it's kind of starting to essentially slowly boil, and now all of a sudden I'm not thoroughly convinced that this is hot enough to actually get that job done. Also, hey Joel, hey bud, what's up?
Some planning lore.
Come
yeah,
on,
usually
man, please get hot.
when I think of original, like when I try to think of
It's
original
like
ideas for
kind
cooking
of warm in the
streams,
pot, but you can tell. I mean, I can just leave my hand in here right
they always
now.
end up
and I'm
morphing over
fine,
time.
So like,
But
not an
the
amazing
preliminary
sign.
ideas
I know
rarely
once again, it's
ends
a
up being
kind of
what
a
I
rookie
ultimately end
mistake.
up
Just add
doing.
more coals, but I think we just need a much hotter, just burning fire in general. So I know in the short term, adding more coals not necessarily the play, but I think in the long term, this is kind of what we have to do here.
Because I knew I wanted to do some sort of
a
pumpkin
nice
cooking stream, but I had no idea for the longest time how exactly I
Raging
wanted to do
coal
it.
fire
So
going,
eventually
essentially.
it became this. I wanted to do this for
And,
Halloween, but timing just didn't work out.
Only one way to do that is add more coals.
Would have been a hell of a lot better than that lame ass candy
All right,
stream, that's for
that's
sure.
how that works. I'll go through this whole goddamn bag if I have to.
Oh, you will, streamer. Oh, you will.
Because when the hell else am I going to be grilling anytime soon, right? Fire. Yes.
Not had a sweet tooth since that candy stream.
I
mean,
almost tempted
after
literally
the
just
fact,
to
like the
take
day
this,
after I
giant
stopped being
grate off
grumpy.
and just try to see if you could just place the pot directly on top of the coals, but I don't know how structurally sound that would be.
I had the almond joys. They were really fucking
It's
good.
tempting though, because that would obviously up the
Paydays,
heat by
they were
pretty
mediocre.
large factor.
But I actually ended up giving the rest of my almond joys to my friends yesterday. I had like about 15 of them left. I was like, all right, I've eaten enough of these, so I gave it to the rest of my friends. They can get fat off almond joys now, not me.
Okay.
Still want to know my feels about Zag
The
nuts?
pile of coals
I don't
in
know
here,
what that
how well
is,
you
so
can
I guess
tell
I have
down
no
there, but
feelings
the
on
pile
it.
of coals that I've added down there is probably doubled in size since we first started this little experiment here, so
Tripled, maybe?
I'd like to think that means this will produce some more results.
Right.
Maybe.
I should have brought a lid for this. That would have helped
Funny,
too, like the lid
the
for this
one for the
pot.
pot for pumpkin spice latte is actually kind of a similar size to the size pile of coals that we actually are using for the pumpkins now. Makes the pumpkin fire look a little sad all of a sudden. Well, I can fix that.
This is a struggle, dude. Like, this is like a giant pile of charcoal at this point, or like a somewhat decent-sized pile of
Any
charcoal. And the
holes,
fact that this was
enjoyers
like
in
not
chat?
heating up still was like,
Okay, that
I was
sounded
concerned.
weird, but I'm
Thinking,
talking about like the movie.
am I just
the one
fucked
with,
for the chili?
Shia LaBeouf. Not those types of holes. I mean, if you are a hole enjoyer, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. 2023, after all. But, you know, just enjoy your holes responsibly. That's all I can say. Oh shit, for the first time I actually hear the pumpkin puree sizzling. Oh shit, boys, I think we're finally getting somewhere. About goddamn time.
Okay, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit more because I think it's just me playing with the coals for the next like 5 minutes still.
Further away.
Oh shit, look at those pumpkins. Alright, they're going, they're chilling, they're chilling.
Soft there, which is what we want. Don't want them to burn though, so let's put these a little more off to the side now.
I was paranoid, at least initially, that they were gonna get too hot, and then I transitioned to paranoid that they were too cold. But
we're trying to get indirect
at this
heat,
point, I all of a sudden realized, like, wait a minute, maybe this is
direct
working.
Heat will just burn them. We want the aluminum thing to hopefully hold the heat enough to the point where it'll slow bake and not just burn to a fucking crisp.
As I found out earlier, the aluminum got plenty hot.
There for the puree, and then the sizzle went away. Oh, Sedge. I mean, we're probably at an okay temperature for the actual pumpkin spice latte making, but this right now at least still needs to be hotter. Well, one way to do that. Fuck it.
Okay, and we'll fast forward a bit more because, well, adding more coals. Okay.
We want that, like,
notice it's been about 20 minutes since I put this on the fire, and it still hasn't really cooked at all.
Slightly more concentrated than it used to be, but not nearly enough.
Nope.
The some of these startup definitely lost their luster, hence why it's
okay. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Maybe it's starting to work a little bit.
Getting now a little bit reduced further down. So finally, took forever, but now I think we're getting somewhere. Cool.
Now it's getting thick. Yeah. Which is good because we've had this one single POV on the grill now for the past like hour.
Cook down.
Not ideal.
probably to 50% of what it is now, and then we're Gucci. Then we can start working on the rest of the pumpkin spice latte. All this for pumpkin spice latte, dude.
Probably needed
Is it
water?
worth all
No,
this
I mean, that's
effort?
the exact opposite of what you
Probably
wanted.
just
We
go
were
to Starbucks
trying
and get
to
one
boil out the
TBH,
water.
But, you know,
Get
where's
it
the fun
thicker.
in that? Okay, now the steam just
yeah.
getting close, boys. I think we're getting close.
It never really fully sizzled like I needed it to, but eventually you could tell it was getting thicker and thickening up to the point where it's like, okay, I think this is what we want.
Now, I think this is more than we actually need for the pumpkin spice latte, simply because the actual recipe itself only calls for 2 tablespoons. Now, I don't mind if the pumpkin spice latte is extra pumpkin-y, because, like, of course, it'd be a little silly if a pumpkin spice latte didn't really taste much like pumpkin, right? But question is, will this, like, straight up just overpower the drink?
I don't know what I expected, but I was trying to get to the point
I
where it
think
was
it's
just like,
probably
and it never did.
time we add the rest of the stuff, though. I think that's probably just now or never. Let me give this a little taste test. Let's see how pumpkin-y it's tasting. Definitely has that intense pumpkin flavor to it, no doubt about it.
Yep, it did in fact taste like pumpkin.
One more
Surprise,
taste,
surprise.
because like I said, I think we have a little bit too much in here anyways. So one way, I guess, to reduce the amount of pumpkin puree in the pot is just to consume it. Oh, all right. Fuck it. I think we just send it. All right, let's send the rest of it. What feels like about half an hour later after we initially started this, now we can finally continue it. Okay, cool.
Closer to about 40 minutes, but who's
That
counting?
was pretty tedious, but okay. So the rest of this pumpkin spice latte, what are we going to do here? Let's see. You guys more the zoomed out view over here.
I didn't realize it'd be so hard to like be able to
Hold on.
cook
Like I
something
said,
in
not
like
working
even a
on even
medium
ground right
temperature
here,
over
so it's a little
charcoal. I thought
spooky.
it'd be easy, but silly me, I guess.
All right, so we are going to add the milk, the pumpkin puree, and sugar to a saucepan over medium heat. All right, so we've got, let me grab the ingredients for all the stuff for the pumpkin spice latte.
I do learn my lesson later this stream, and
already
so
have it
next
sitting right here.
time
Never
I would
mind.
know how to do it better, but we'll get there.
All right, so we got the sugar right here, cool. And then the milk we've got sitting in the cooler that I got over here. Now, the recipe calls to use whole milk, and I would have used whole milk except for the fact that when I went to the grocery store yesterday, weirdly enough, for whatever reason, I couldn't find any, like, too small, like, little mini version, if you will. Oh shit, the coffee's leaking in the cooler, nice. I couldn't find any little mini version
Sounding
of whole
crisp.
milk, so I had to get
Yes, sir.
2% milk. Not ideal, admittedly, but it's gonna have to get the job done. So in you go. Good news about
Yeah,
this
whole
these
milk
little
would have been
minis here.
just
It's
for
supposed to
this,
add
but
2 cups of
well.
milk, and this is exactly 2 cups. Imagine that.
Or honestly, even like half and half might have worked best. Like the creamier, the better, right?
All right,
Ladies.
and then add the sugar, which I conveniently already measured out in advance. How about that? Now, the recipe says just sugar, but it said you can specifically, you don't have to use any sort of specific type of sugar. You can use regular sugar, you can use brown sugar, whatever. So I am a brown sugar enjoyer, so we're going with the brown sugar. Okay. Now, this says to simmer over just like basically medium-low heat. So I would hope that the coals that we have going basically represent medium-low heat. I mean, it took the pumpkin puree long enough, that's for sure. So
Very low, medium low heat, I
don't know.
guess.
We'll see. I'll give you the top-down view so we can see how we're cooking here. Hold on. Once again, not even ground. Very annoying.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to boil this, but we were supposed to get this like hot enough to like just before it was boiling.
I think if anything, might have to add more coals again to get this going, but
Yeah.
I don't want to burn this, right? Because it said like you don't want this. I don't think you want this boiling or anything. It says to heat until hot, but do not boil. Okay. Then after that, we'll whisk in the vanilla, pumpkin pie spice, and the coffee. All right. Well, in the meantime, while that's just doing its thing, I'm gonna add a few more coals because
Because that's going to still take a while. So let's go ahead and get to
they're
the
definitely
part where
looking
Streamer added a bunch of
just these.
coals. Oh, we showed the pumpkins. Okay.
Oh, okay. Damn, those are looking kind of toasty at this point. All right, all right. How well can you see those? Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely looking toasty, so that
So you can see
implies
the
that
pumpkins.
it's probably working, I think. Maybe. Come on, camera. Work with me here, bud. Okay, whatever. Um, so I think for the pumpkins now, maybe we flip these. Have them roast on the other side for a bit. I can tell you this, they're not really as what you'd like to be like
Nice
tender.
color.
I mean, well, they're a little bit tender, but they're not like, if you poke them with the tongs or whatever, you don't just sink through, which is I think what you're looking for, right? So I think
The recipe describes it as
I mean,
you want
they
them
obviously need
fork
more
tender.
time, but my concern is will they ever get to the point where they're tender enough to make into puree? Because basically the description of the recipe says it needs to be fork tender, and these are not fork tender at the moment.
We're getting more tender at least. They were soft.
But I guess we add more coals. Sure.
As always.
Let's do that.
It's cold as fuck outside these days. Sure ain't feeling hotter in Indiana. It was really nice yesterday. It was like in the low to
That
mid
is
50s. I
always
was
a good
actually really
idea,
comfy.
right?
I didn't get cold at all. Ever ate pumpkin in your life? Am I scooping the flesh out of the shell? Well, eventually after it finished cooking, you would just like peel the skin off, and the entire rest of the pumpkin chunk is just exactly the part that you eat.
Thank God I bought a relatively
But
large
the
bag
pumpkin
of
you don't
charcoal.
eat is just
I'm
the
starting to
skin
think I
and
might
the
actually
innards, but it's just all
unironically go
about
through all
the
of this.
fleshy
Shit, if anything, I'm
flesh
worried
part
might
of
run
it.
out for the chili. I mean,
It's
the
not like
good
the
news
shell
is,
is
like
hard,
I said,
it's
I've
just
got
a
the propane
skin,
stove, so I
thin
know
skin.
for sure that's going to work, but...
Okay, yep.
Whatever's
Adding more coals, getting it
So
hot
let's
again. Yeah.
put the pot literally directly on top of the pile of coals. Get the feeling that would get the job done better. Problem is I can't take off this grate because we're still, like, obviously doing the pumpkins as well.
So, I mean, you can tell the pumpkin spice latte, it was heating up, but heated very slowly.
I always constantly, I guess, like every time I've worked with charcoal on a cooking stream, I always constantly overestimate how hot it's going to get. You always assume it's just going to be like ripping hot the entire time, as if you had as if they were coals produced by a campfire, but they're never as hot as like a campfire set of coals, I guess. That's seemingly, for whatever reason, a different type of coal and a hotter type of coal. So, Okay, better flame going at least. I don't know, sort of.
Kind of.
I'm
Okay,
sure.
yep, still waiting to heat up. Okay.
Necessarily mean hot, but not.
Come on. Oh, here we go.
Boiling,
Finally, it
that's what
started
we're
to work.
going
You can
for
see here. Okay. You can see now the flame really, finally, for whatever reason, started to kick in.
So we know what that means. Okay.
Each one of the reasons you prefer lump charcoal. You're not letting this die. I'm not experienced enough with charcoal to really have a preference.
Just trying to basically build this charcoal little pile underneath the pot
Finally,
as
though,
high
it
as I
started
can, so
working.
that way it
Sort of.
gets the flame like as close as possible to the actual pot itself.
This is kind of one of the reasons why it ended up being not the worst thing in the world that I pre-recorded this, so I could skip past all of this, because this took like a while, like as you can probably tell, and
Sort
I
of
couldn't
emulate
skip
as if
over it
was over, like,
live,
a
so
stove or an actual campfire and not
sort of
just
worked out.
a bed of coals. Oh, my poor electronics right now, just getting kind of coated in charcoal dust. Not ideal. Probably not the best combination for electronics, admittedly.
Yeah, my phone now smells like a campfire.
But they've been through a lot at this point, I believe.
Doesn't smell horrible.
Okay, well, it's definitely hot over that fire right now. Definitely warm.
So it was starting to bubble a little bit, which implied to me that, like, okay, I think we're actually getting to the point that we need it to be at. Because you don't want to burn the milk, obviously. Me checking the sides of the pot, like,
it's this constant
is it
game of
hot?
like making sure you can try to find like what the hottest spot of the grill is. You can kind of eyeball it, obviously, but if anything, the thing that kind of makes it a little difficult is the wind keeps shifting directions, and so it blows the heat in different directions depending on like where the flame's oriented and where the charcoal's sitting, and yeah, not super easy. I think in hindsight, what I should have done, what I could have done, in fact, you can technically move the grate underneath up like one level higher. I probably should have done that so that way like the coals were closer to the actual top grate. Like I said earlier, though, I was just paranoid about it getting too hot, so I did like the little middle notch so that way I could get it like close, but not like ultra close. But
The lesson I've learned is basically you want the coals
I'm
almost
starting
in
to get the feeling that I
contact
should
with
have had it
the
ultra
pot.
close because this is only barely working, I would say.
Yeah, if you only have like if you have like a 2-inch gap
Not
between the
ideal.
coals lit, like the lit coals and the pot, like I've learned that like okay, apparently that doesn't do jack shit. I guess it's kind of like holding it 2 inches over a stove. That like
How warm is this now?
if you hold a pot 2 inches over the stove, it's also not going to cook even if the stove is
Okay,
going full
I'd
blast.
describe as now hot.
I guess it makes
but
sense
it's
in
not
hindsight.
close to boiling hot, that's for sure. I can still sip it and not like burn myself. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
All right, more coals.
top of this, great about the cookies on it. I'm what we're gonna do just to maximize the heat on that and hopefully
Better too hot than not hot enough. Can always move the
Cook
pot out of the
chilly
hot
enough.
zone. Yeah, well, hindsight's 20/20.
Okay, this is starting to get
Yeah,
like
me.
little
Yeah, it's hard to get a
bubblies.
concentrated
Good.
heat for sure, especially since like this
It
open
might be
pit. If it was like one of the
approaching
smaller,
boiling. We
like
don't
more
wanna boil it, we
contained
just wanna
ones,
approach boiling.
probably would have been easier.
Then take it off and add the rest of the shit. Which, speaking of which, the rest of the shit will be what, by the way? It's going to be whisk and vanilla, pumpkin pie spice, and coffee, and that'll be it. And then we'll heat it up a little bit more at that point, and then actually, well, no, it doesn't say to heat that up. I think it's just like once it's almost boiling, you just take it off the heat permanently, add in the rest of the stuff, and I guess you're just good to go. All right.
So basically, a way to rephrase this: if you were doing this over a real stove, this would take about 5 minutes. Ah. 40 minutes?
As long
Ah,
as
it's been more
we
than
got it,
that,
like,
dude.
hot,
We're
it's
approaching an
probably
hour
fine.
now.
I can tell you this: all the pumpkin purees get dissolved in here, and all of the sugar is dissolved. So I mean, I feel like that's probably good enough.
Now, I was kind of making this pumpkin spice latte to kind of kill some time while I waited for the pumpkins to bake anyways. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world that I killed some time here, but
And this wasn't
still, I
supposed
did
to
need
take
to
nearly
prep
this
other
long,
ingredients
so
for
I'm
the
kind
chili
of
as
willing
well.
to just call this fuck it good enough at this point. So we're gonna just do that. We're gonna say fuck it, good enough, because I don't really feel like rebuilding the fire
Was I
again.
making meth? I was, yes.
Okay, so let's get the rest of those ingredients that the recipe calls for.
Don't worry, I promise. Once we get
Add
to the
them into
point
the
where,
pot.
like, once we get past this section, it
need
picks up again and the
coffee.
cooking stream gets good. This last part, I recognized even in the moment was like, this is kind of boring. But
And
we finally got to
then
the point where it's
vanilla,
like,
which we
okay,
have over here,
now we're
in pumpkin
doing
pie
actual cooking.
spice. Pumpkin pie spice is something you can just buy like in a little store-bought container. I think it doesn't contain anything super fancy. I think it's just like cinnamon and nutmeg, and it probably says here on the back of the container actually. Cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and cloves. Sure, okay, why not?
Basic
So
bitch pumpkin
first things
spice.
first, let's add the
pumpkin
coffee.
pie spice.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
The coffee I'm adding isn't like homemade coffee or anything. It's literally just like from the grocery store. It's like
Same
the Starbucks
shirt?
shit.
Wait,
I
really?
figured, yeah, it's a
Damn.
pumpkin spice latte. Using Starbucks coffee only seems appropriate, right? And I don't actually really ever brew coffee myself. I don't have a coffee maker. So because of that, I don't really have any other choice but to just buy this at the grocery store.
It tasted like coffee.
Okay, so
I'm
we
not a
need
coffee
half
snob.
cup,
Gets the
actually,
job
that's
done.
it. Okay. This is
No
technically
step
still over
twos?
the heat right now,
Keep
but
watching.
I think the heat is once again dying down, so it's not that big of a deal.
Never seen real coffee sold like that, just pure black coffee? Yeah, just pure black coffee that had been chilled, obviously.
Okay, and then the pumpkin pie spice, we need how much of this shit? Half a teaspoon, so we'll just sort of YOLO that then. Half a teaspoon, basically nothing. Come on.
Plastic seals, my mortal enemy right there.
Oi.
Struggling.
Sorry, man struggles to open up a small plastic container.
Use the axe.
First world problems. Okay.
I didn't want to like fuck up the
Okay,
axe at
so
all
half a
because like
teaspoon.
it
Like I
wasn't
said,
mine,
we're just
right?
gonna kind of eyeball this. I'm not gonna try to get too fancy with it. Well, that's probably about right there. Yeah, a little more. Ah, fuck it. Okay, there we go. And then a little vanilla extract.
Seals are the worst.
1
Dude, they
tablespoon.
were just
Now, I don't have real
created to be
vanilla extract. I've
inconvenient.
got the imitation shit, but it'll get the job done, right? It's supposed to imitate it, so I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it's going to do. We're just going to eyeball that as well. That's probably about a tablespoon. All right, mix her up, baby. Now, I think what you would want to ideally do is add, like, according to the recipe, like strong coffee to this. So, like, even like a shot of like espresso or something. But I'm not really much of a coffee drinker anyways. I don't necessarily need this to be super caffeinated anyways, so I don't really mind if it's not like a super strong coffee flavor in this. Good as is, I would say. Okay, cool. Take that off the heat, and I guess we're good to go. I guess we'll just use the rest of this heat later, like the rest of these charcoals, I guess, for the chili. But I mean, there you go, chat. That's what it's looking like.
Vanilla
Steaming hot,
extract,
that's
very
for sure.
potent stuff. Seemed like a lot, but I guess it was potable. I
Let's
think
say we pour
the
this
camera
into a
made it look
mug
like
and
I
see how
poured
it is.
more than I did. I poured about a tablespoon, which is exactly what the recipe called for.
Mug.
All right, all that work for 1 mug of pumpkin spice latte.
I guess we're pouring all of it. All right, fuck it. Most of it.
Oh well.
Cheers, chat. Everybody says. Ooh, shit. I mean, pretty tasty, not gonna lie, pretty tasty. It's been a long ass time since I had like a real pumpkin spice latte, so I can't say for absolute certain what it's supposed to taste like, but I can tell you this tastes very pumpkin-y
It tastes like what I'm pretty sure it would taste like at Starbucks.
and creamy. I mean, it's what it's supposed to be like in my book.
That is definitely the thing that it wasn't as good as I would have hoped. Was it wasn't creamy enough. I should have used like whole milk ideally, or half and half even. But you know, didn't have it available for me or at the time. So, yeah, I don't know. It was decent. It was decent, but was it worth the hour I spent making it versus just going to Starbucks and buying it for $5? No, just go to fucking Starbucks, or you know, they even sell I think like pre-mixed pumpkin spice lattes at grocery stores, like literally Starbucks branded. Could have just done that. Yeah. Couldn't I boil it down more? Have you seen how long it took me even to get like something even kind of simmering? My brother in Christ, boiling at that point was not an option.
Ooh. That was actually really nice on a chilly fall day, dude.
So yeah, it was still decent, but honestly, it could have been better.
That being said, it is kind of missing something. I think we're going to turn this pumpkin spice latte into a pumpkin spiked latte, if you will. There we go.
Booty.
A little hair of the dog, you know? Never hurt nobody. And if anything, I'd say the kind of rye whiskey flavors will pair well with the other fall flavors.
Keep in mind, by the way, I always like to be able to drink like during the entirety of the cooking stream, but I drove to and from this place, so I couldn't drink a ton of alcohol while I was here because I had to drive after I was done.
Okay.
But
And then
a little something
I think
doesn't
last thing, to kind of finish off the entire affair, let's maybe pour a little bit more of this in. Perhaps some whipped cream. Seems only appropriate for a basic bitch pumpkin latte. Whipped cream. Yes, yes, yes.
Whipped.
Whip. Yeah. Okay. That just fell over the ground, but worth whatever.
Little knobbed and whipped cream. Perfect combo.
Yeah. Clean up my white goose spillage here real quick on the ground. Sorry.
Spitters are quitters.
Nothing to see
Sorry,
here,
that was a
kids.
bit of a bigger load than I
Children around.
could handle.
All right, and now we got a true, actual, legit pumpkin spice latte. Or should I say pumpkin spiked latte? That's what, oh yeah, we can like add some basic bitch pumpkin spice on top. Oh, hold on.
Half of it just blowing away in the wind. Nice.
For that visual pizzazz. Come on, chat, look at that.
Visually.
Yes, dude. That is a pumpkin spice latte for a basic bitch right there. Which is me. Ooh, I gotta say, the rye does definitely play well with it.
Missed the caramel drizzle. Yeah, oh well. At this point, I was just like, alcohol.
Gotta say, that's pretty good. It's pretty tasty. Was it worth the hour it just took to make it? Debatable, but not gonna lie, that end result, pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. I would definitely do this exact combo again. Like I said, use half and half and.
Well, I guess at this point, it's maybe time to inspect the pumpkins and see how we're doing here.
Maybe add a tiny bit more sugar, but that's about
the
it.
coals are not particularly hot on either side at this point, so if anything, I might need to add more. I don't know. I'm pretty concerned that the pumpkins are not anywhere close to being done, which is a problem. That is tasty right there, though. Goddamn. All right, let's inspect the pumpkins and see how we're doing. Well, I mean, okay. You can definitely see that they've been blackened a bit, like, you know, charred a bit on the outside. And I can definitely at least feel them being a little tender now. They definitely have some give to them, which is good because you want them to, we need to blend these basically. We need to turn these into puree. Come on. So, the question is, are they ready? The recipe, like I said, describes these as needing to be fork tender, which I don't think these are still. I think they're probably what feels like maybe halfway there, maybe a little bit more than halfway there.
Keep in mind, they've been going for about an hour now.
But not enough to the point where I feel like I'd be comfortable putting them into a blender and like getting a paste out of it, and that's what we want to actually have, right? So, At some point, I'll just say there's a hard time limit cutoff. We're going to try to send it anyways, regardless, and see what happens, because at the end of the day, I don't want to run out of sunlight. Once it gets dark, like, it's kind of just GG at that point.
Yeah, I started filming this at about 1 p.m. under the assumption that like I'd have about 4 hours till it got dark.
And we have approximately,
spoiler, I ended up using all 4 of those hours of daylight
left. Maybe 2.5, if you want to include like dusk in that equation.
So did I buy Halloween pumpkins for the barbecue?
Yeah.
No, they were like actual cooking pumpkins.
Not
Halloween
ideal.
pumpkins apparently are not really not ideal for cooking. Supposed to use the sugar pumpkins like these. Well, ideally split in half with an axe.
Oh, nice little fall park view, though. Got the view of the river over there. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Okay. Now, I guess what we can start doing, at least while this hopefully finishes off, is we can prep some of the ingredients we'll need for the chili itself. So when I say that, I'm talking about, like, need to chop up an onion, need to chop up some garlic, need to chop up a bell pepper. So I suppose we could just do that right now as we wait.
Tried to bake a full-size pumpkin one time. They were all
I'm just
strings. Yeah, that's what I've heard the
concerned,
problem
man.
is.
Concerned
Too
this
like
gonna
fibrous.
not be cooked enough to make into puree, which is what we need it to be. I mean, like I said, I've got the backup puree that I just bought from the store that I can use instead. That's not exactly what I'd call as authentic and exciting, but at the very least, we know for sure it'll work.
Yeah, I had the backup plan of just using
shit.
store-bought pumpkin puree if this didn't work.
Oh. Okay, fresh set of coals going on top of there.
For like the 10th time.
Man, let's put the lid back on, we'll see. That set of coals is just like GG. Fucking hell, man. Alright, let's prep all the rest of this shit, shall we? I think we could probably just do it on this little work surface. I could take everything over the
wonder if
table.
boiling
but
it would
I don't wanna
work. I
take
don't
stuff
know.
over the table if I don't
I feel
have
like
to.
it'd make it too mushy.
I think this work surface right here will get the job done.
How often do I use my backup plans? Sometimes.
Heck.
Like when I tried to make the ghetto grill work, for example, that didn't work, so I had to use the propane stove instead.
Move some stuff out of the way.
Same for when I tried to do the beef Wellington. Doing it over the campfire was just not hot enough, so I had to just do it over the propane stove again.
Oh. A lot of air.
Thank you for that, streamer.
Anyways,
Whippets on stream.
Put that
But I
back
think
in the
is like I
cooler.
know what that is, but like I wasn't trying to.
all right, and we need to grab all of our ingredients for the chili, of which there are a lot. Big old bag right here. Pumpkin spice latte, hello. Ooh, I can taste that rye in there, that's for sure. God damn. Guess I can pour the rest of this inside.
It was like the special edition knob that was like 58%, so I only need a tiny little bit to taste quite a bit of it.
Okay. Put the other rest of the pumpkin, I guess, just over here for now. Ugh. I really hope I don't have to resort to using the backup pumpkin, but I will if I have to. I mean, I'm glad I didn't try to cook more of those pumpkins than I already have. Like, I'm already concerned that these two are already not cooked enough. I'd be more concerned if there was like 2 extra pumpkins in there that had been soaking up heat the entire time.
Yeah, the 2 took long enough. That was a good call on my part.
All right. Not a huge work surface here, but it's going to have to get the job done. Let's get our cutting board. Let's get all of our utensil stuff over here.
By the way, there was a decent chunk of people that came in and out of the park over the course of the day. Like some people back there. Other people
nasty-ass
using a
cutting
public
board.
park? Huh.
Classic, dude. And then we need to chop up an onion, garlic, and a bell pepper. There we go. Okay. And I suppose we'll start with the bell pepper. Fuck it. A tiny one.
God,
But
I'm getting hungry myself. Like
we're making a
IRL.
half recipe. I'm sure Streamer will link the chili recipe in the chat right now. Streamer, do that now.
Hold on.
And so we're making half a recipe. So the recipe calls for 1 large red bell pepper and 1 large onion.
There it is.
Since we're making half, I figured, well, okay, it kind of makes sense to just use a small red bell pepper and a small onion. So that's exactly what we're doing. So let's get my knife that I did sharpen before the stream, so don't spurg at me. I'm sure you will anyways. My ghetto knife cover here as well, so that way it doesn't cut the bag that it was stored in.
Should really just get a real knife
Is this
sheath.
a proper way to keep a knife handled and stored and sharp? Probably not, but Scotch tape and a paper towel have to get the job done, regardless.
Shit, it did.
other people, Monka. If anyone asks, this is a pumpkin spice latte and nothing else.
Need an IRL leather worker exactly
now,
for my knife.
I've learned the fancy way to do this. How do you do this again? Fuck. Hold on. The way where you like basically just cut this up in a way. I think you just cut the top off, cut the bottom off, and then just like make little matchsticks. I think is what you're supposed to do. So like cut that part off. You cut this part off. Okay. And then just kind of rip the center out.
A tiny ass little bell pepper. It's kind of adorable.
Here of some type. Walking over the trash can every time is mildly annoying. This will work. Alright, rip out the insides. Get on out of there. Okay, nice little clean inside of a bell pepper now. Easy. And then you're supposed to basically cut it along the side like that. Okay, yes, I watched the YouTube video, and then you can kind of roll it out like this and then just chop it up.
Look at that.
Neat.
A little bit better than the first time I tried to slice one of these up.
I don't really have a bowl to put this in, so I guess I'm going to have to get myself a plate and just toss them on a plate. I brought some paper plates, so that'll get the job done.
Recipe's weird using ground pork. Yeah.
Chop this little section up right here.
Pork chili's a thing too. Cider's unorthodox. Well, just watch what happens, I guess. Cilantro is only supposed to be used as a garnish. Keep in mind, not like
this little
something incorporated inside.
Tiny shelf on this barbecue. So gotta be careful that stuff doesn't go flying, because if it goes onto the ground, that's
I agree. The recipe was definitely unorthodox, but
lost set of food that I don't want to lose. Because I only got one of these, so yeah. Okay.
Chili gatekeeper.
Let me get that paper plate I was talking about, so we can just kind of transfer it over to that.
Originally, I was going to do all this chopping like on the tables,
careful,
but I got lazy and just did it right on the grill because I didn't want to have to walk back and forth.
All right. This one somehow evaded my chopping.
Oh, careful on the fingies, streamer.
Okay, that's one half. Tiny ass little bell pepper, but I think for this half recipe we're making, I think it's gonna be just about right. All right, come on. I can be a professional chef. I've watched The Bear. Chop the shit better, streamer. You can do it.
One day, maybe I'll look at it. Look up how to actually handle a knife. One day.
Okay, nice. See, is that so hard, streamer? I certainly try my best to make it look hard, that's for sure, and I mostly succeed, I'd say. Okay, so the bell peppers we'll use. Technically I could use these little parts as well, but I don't think it's really necessary. Yeah, the bottom I can use. Fuck it. Don't want anything to go to waste, you know?
Your knife stance is all squirrely. Unfortunately, my IRL dagger skill is not maxed out, so, you know, gotta make do with what we got.
Okay. And then next up, I guess we can do the garlic. The full recipe calls for 3 cloves, and we're making a half recipe, but I'm gonna still use 3 cloves. Why? Because garlic is tasty. No one's gonna complain that it's too garlicky, that's for sure.
Need an IRL mugger's belt. Yeah.
These are actually really chunky cloves, though. Maybe I'll just do 2. Maybe someone might complain, I don't know. Yeah, that's a fucking giant chunk of garlic. That's basically the equivalent of 2 anyways, right there. Okay, we'll call that good enough. Ugh, come on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A crushing
Problem,
technique.
I've said this before. The problem with like really, really giant chunks of garlic is that they have a difficult time peeling when you do like the little knife crush method. Oh, this is actually 3. There's a little mini one hiding in there. Oh shit. Hello. It's like Pepe garlic and Peepo garlic in there. It's adorable. Actually, was that? This actually might have been 4. No, we're just sending it. All this garlic, like I said, can't get too garlicky anyways, right? It's fine. It's fine. All right. Ooh, come on, cutting board. Okay, one.
I was really paranoid about like the
So
small
for
little
this half
workspace that
recipe,
I
we're
had.
using 1 more garlic clove than the full recipe calls for. That's fine, dude. It's fine. Okay, just need to get this in. We'll mince this more here in a second. Just trying to get into like a little rough chops. All right, come on, baby. Is there supposed to like? Is there like
Enough in here.
footwork you can use for knife handling or for knife cutting? Where do I put my feet while I cut a knife or cut with a knife? I don't actually know. I'm sure there's some sort of stance that the professional chef school would tell me that I'd need to stand like, but I don't know what it is. Oh.
Didn't help that the cutting board
By
was
the way, I
not
don't know if you
stable
can hear
either.
in the background, but it's like there's like sounds of like it's like a motor noise or not a motor, but like a almost sounds of people like racing go-karts or something off in the distance. I don't know what that is. Could be, I guess, like a weed whacker or something, or maybe like a some sort of lawn care maintenance sort of tool. That might be what, oh, it could be a chainsaw actually is what it is. I think that's actually probably what it is. It's probably a chainsaw. Probably some dude cutting firewood would be my guess. That's actually probably it. Yeah. Shit, I should have borrowed his chainsaw for the pumpkin smashing earlier. Oh shit. Alright, get that garlic nice and chopped in there. Or nice and minced, if you will, I guess.
You can take coarse salt and put it
Pretty
on
good.
chopped garlic and spread it across the cutting board with a knife. Sure, okay.
Okay.
Or I could just do it this
Eventually
way.
this
It
will
works
just
well
go
enough.
into the pot. The same pot, so I don't really mind if these kind of meld on the plate anyways. Also, I get the feeling the heat on the quote-quote barbecue right now is probably faded too much. Let's maybe add some more of the more coals in this bad boy. I think at this point it's pretty much a certainty that we're just using the propane stove for like actually cooking the chili, because otherwise that'll take legitimately all night long, and ain't nobody got time for that. Okay.
Safe to say that my charcoal
You do, 'cause I
cooking
could just
plans
fast
were
forward, but I don't.
didn't go exactly according to plan.
By the way, I guess I can transfer over the old coals from the pumpkin spice latte over to the
It rarely does.
pumpkin thing. Might as
Okay.
well do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We'll
yeah, yeah,
take
yeah, yeah,
advantage
yeah,
of all this
streamer.
heat that's
The whole
just
adding
sitting
more
here.
coals to the fire again. Okay. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Something
yeah.
that needs to cook for like an hour. I know you can do it, but I think it's better done in like a contained grill, like in like one of like the grills you'd buy from like from like a home improvement store or whatever. That's like more contained, because a lot of the heat escapes, I think, in this setup, since it's like just an open pit grill or whatever you want to call this.
Almost all of it.
Okay, let's chop up the onion. There she is. Recipe calls for a sweet onion, so that's what we're using. Personally, I have no idea what the difference between this onion is and like a yellow onion, but or maybe this is a yellow onion. I don't really know, but it's an onion. It'll get the job done. Honestly, in my opinion, any onion is usable when it comes to just a recipe that calls for a certain type of onion. Red onion, yellow onion, orange onion, purple onion. It all tastes like onion, and it all tastes pretty damn good because of it. Alright, come on. Come on. It's a very flat onion. That's the only problem. It's making peeling a little bit tricky. Yeah. Come on. Oh. Tastes like pumpkin spiked latte. Okay, there we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Sticker like with the little barcode on it was stuck to the bottom. All right, and then you cut that bad boy in half.
Oh, streamer, you really have to put like a wet paper towel underneath that chopping board.
Okay.
Unstable as fuck, dude.
And we dice her up using the what is always ultra fucking sketch monka feeling onion cutting technique that Gordon Ramsay recommends. And yet somehow after all these years of cooking he's not lost any fingers, which I'm a little shocked by, because this is always spooky. Works well. But
Looks very sketchy watching this back.
Oh, careful, SpongeBob. Okay.
Don't worry, spoilers.
Whoops, not supposed to happen like that. Okay. Oh, don't want the shit flying on the ground, because...
To get to this part, it works well.
Like I said, pretty limited amount of workspace that I have here. Not a whole lot of room for onions flying in other directions at the moment. Okay. It's 1/2. Oi.
Hey, you know what? My knife skills in the video game are a bit higher than my IRL knife skills, alright? Cut me some slack here.
Alright, other half. Oh, careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob.
I should get an axe IRL?
Patrick,
Somebody
the lid is
clearly
already
did not
off.
tune into
Ooh.
the first part of the stream, then. What's that in the background just sitting there? Huh? What could it be?
Okay. Oh, we're good. All right, okay. I'm actually kind of surprised that so many people are here at this public park this time of year. I know you can't see them per se, but I've seen plenty of people come and go, just parking here and just walking around and doing stuff. Like some people just like jogging, and some people walking their dogs, and some people like here with their families and stuff. Here I am just alone, trying to cook a pumpkin over a charcoal grill for some reason. To each their own. I'm not camping here, so, you know, I'm not a menace to society. I'm not trying to bait poverty subs, as I've been known to do in the past, of course. I'm poor, I promise, please. I live in this park. Someone donate so I can have dinner tonight. Just not, you know, this dinner, a different dinner. This isn't real food.
Any primers? I'm poor. Promise, I swear.
Okay.
Where was I here? I'm in a public park.
Feels like a lot of onion, but this was a relatively small onion, so... The recipe calls for, the full recipe that is, calls for a large sweet onion, so this was a small sweet onion, so I assume that, I don't know, it gets the job done. Okay.
Reddit exposed me, yeah. They did the deep
There
dive.
we go. Now, I think it's the moment of truth for the pumpkin. It's going to have to be ready at this point. If it's not ready, then so be it. We'll use just the... Oh,
Okay.
Joel!
It's
Oh,
just
no,
that
how
easy.
long has he been
Mr.
sitting here?
Tango coming in hot with
Sorry,
the gifted sub. Thank you, sir. We'll go directly
bad.
to the Hot Box Doritos and Chili Fund. Wow.
I think it's the moment of truth for the pumpkin. Let's take a look, boys. I think at this point, we're going to have to send it, regardless.
And Lennon with the gifted sub as well. Thank you, sir. Your sub will also go directly to the Hot
I mean,
Box
it's
and Doritos Fund.
soft-ish. I don't know if you can hear this, but it's definitely crispy on the exterior. And we're going to take the skin off, so that's fine. It doesn't matter if the skin is a little charred.
Had a good chuckle reading the comments on the Reddit post of my Shadowmourne clip. People really love hating on streamers.
We'll see, boys. I don't know
Yeah,
how
they've
well this
never
is
been a
gonna work,
particularly
but we're
large
gonna have
fan
to
of
give it
me
a
over
shot,
there.
because at this point, like I
Or
said,
really any streamer for that matter.
do or die, now or never, right?
Did I barbecue a pumpkin? No, these were actually plastic pumpkins. These are just props.
Let's put these on a plate. Oh man, I hope these blend. I do have my blender with me, and you're kind of probably wondering how you use a blender out here. You're gonna find out. All right.
You know, it did work, as you can tell.
Yeah,
They
for
did.
these other pumpkins I had over here. Well,
Did
I'm gonna
get
set
a lot of
them
heat
away,
on
but
them. Just took probably twice as long as
them
I
off the side for
expected or
now.
was hoping.
Maybe I'll try to bake these later and bake them better than the charcoal grill did. Because that didn't work very well. Okay.
It did work, just took a while.
Okay, so let's head on back to the little picnic shelter because I think that's probably that'll be all for our charcoal grilling
It
experience.
was at this point that just some random ass family showed up and decided to start to do a whole bunch of stuff, like literally right next to where I was streaming them, even though this entire public park was huge and they could have gone anywhere, but instead they just parked themselves right next to me, which was mildly annoying, but whatever, dude.
I said I think we'll just use the
They didn't bother me
propane
or
stove
anything. It was
now
just
for
like,
the
I felt a little self-conscious all of a sudden just doing this entire thing on my own and filming myself while they were standing right next to me.
for the chili. Okay.
Did I throw rocks at them? I mean, yeah, obviously. Public space things, huh? Yeah, how dare other people take advantage of public space? Don't they know it's all reserved for me?
And Joel, hey buddy.
Don't mind the crazy guy with an axe, yeah. And a sledgehammer, don't forget about that too. And a knife. Prop food, pre-recorded content, mansion exposed, quitting wrath, and vanilla, etc.,
One thing I'm
etc.
forgetting here is my pumpkin spice latte. Hello, buddy.
Hey, Joel, hey, buddy.
Can't forget that.
And my spinning fish. Crazy guy grilling
I don't know what
pumpkins
time
and
it is right
talking
now,
to a
but
fake fish. Joel,
Feels like I'm starting
no!
to run out of daylight, so have to try our best to expedite this this process. Okay. Hey, Joel. Hey, bud. So first things first, we need to take the skin off of the pumpkin here. So supposedly, once you cook these, the skin should just kind of peel right off, is what the recipe says at least. Let's see how true that is. Maybe get a knife out to... Yeah, okay, all right, well, that's coming off, all right. Let me,
So you were asking
get my
earlier,
knife
like, how
so I can
exactly... What
help
part of
this
this you
along.
actually eat?
Or get the axe, actually. Oh, shit. The axe might help. Oh, sorry. Things flying everywhere. Okay, I've got the knife, a spoon, and a larger spoon.
Why do I look like a Unabomber there? I guess it turns out a hipster and a Unabomber look very similar.
Okay, I've got the knife, a spoon, and a larger spoon. These fucking kids in the background, dude. Don't they know I'm streaming? How dare they use this public park for public use? Sorry, Joel. All right. Let's see how well I can just get this off. Maybe just like knife and incision here at the top so we can kind of
Good call.
peel the skin off this way. Oh yeah, there we go, baby. All right.
Buddy.
Well,
That.
this is softer than I initially thought, so maybe this is gonna work. I don't know. It's definitely... Ah, Joel, no. Come on, stick with me, bud. Okay, there we go. I mean, okay. I don't necessarily have 100% confidence that this is going to turn into the puree that we need it to, but I will say I'm more confident than I was about 10 minutes ago. Because 10 minutes ago I was thinking like, uh-oh, time for plan B. But, okay.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see there, the skin was
I
coming
really,
off. Like,
really hope at least like some of the charcoal flavor has been infused into the pumpkin to sort of make this entire annoying process worth it. Because, in theory, like I said, the extra charcoal flavor should, I don't know, add to the experience, right?
yeah, the skin was peeling off
Kind of
like
almost
completely
smoky
separate from
pumpkin
the
flavor, which
flesh.
I don't know
So
if that's
I mean, it
normally a
worked.
thing, but
That's what it was supposed to
make
do.
it a thing, I guess. Okay. Oh, yeah.
By the way, we are now approaching 3 hours into the stream, and literally all I've been basically accomplished for this chili this entire time was baking the pumpkin that I was going to use for one small aspect of the chili. So,
Trying to get
you
like all
know,
the little extra
maybe not the most time-efficient recipe ever,
silliness on the sides here.
or at least methodology.
Just flip this over. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay, just get all this little charred layer off because the charred layer's not going to blend very well, I assume. But the bottom looks pretty decent. Like the bottom was exposed to like open flames, but it still held together relatively well. I'm glad about that. I will say the pumpkin was surprisingly durable under that. Well, it was supposed to be high heat. I don't know if it, maybe, I don't know how high it actually got, but I think it cooked, I think. Okay, there's like an outer sort of dried out layer, so we can get this part off too. Yeah, so this outer dried layer that kind of got direct exposure to the flames, but I want to keep some of that in there. I want to keep the smoky flavor in there. I don't know how well it'll blend though, so any part that just feels like straight up just dried out and flaky at this point, I guess we need to get out of there.
Yeah, so here's the problem with like, so I was thinking originally that like, oh cool, I'll cook this pumpkin over charcoal and give it infuse it with that kind of like smoky charcoal flavor.
What the hell?
But then I realized like, oh shit, the entire part that got like
where I'm streaming,
the smoked part we had to peel off anyway, so I'm not really sure it made a difference, to be honest.
Children decide to act like children. Unbelievable, dude. I think I'm officially old when I'm saying stuff like that. Okay. God, I hope this blends into a decent puree. We'll see. Okay. All right, that's one of them. Swap
There you go.
out.
All that work just for that.
Okay.
But you can see, you know, okay. You can see it's still steaming, so you can see it is hot.
Yeah, this part's like nice and charred, damn. I mean, the skin definitely did what it's supposed to, which is sort of separate from the pumpkin itself. So that's an encouraging sign. I've never cooked a pumpkin before, so I don't know exactly what it's supposed to look like, but this feels like it's doing what it should, which is basically having the skin flake off and leaving the nice little soft underbelly. See that nice and steamy right there? Okay, okay. Nice and hot. Wow.
Soft underbelly, yes, that's right.
Okay, flip that bad boy over. Oh, baby, look at that. Oh. Feels like this one got cooked a little bit more than the other one. This one seems actually almost perfect as far as its consistency is concerned, which is encouraging. If anything, I'm fairly confident this one's going to blend pretty well. It's just the other one that's maybe a tiny bit more suspect. You can see like the innards of this one are a little bit more blackened as well, just to kind of show you that it got more heat. But once you peel off this dried out exterior, it's still nice and soft and juicy on the inside, so that is good news.
Nice and soft.
Thing that didn't occur to me though is I guess like when you peel off this outer dry layer, and you kind of have to because this is not going to blend well. I guess maybe we're kind of getting rid of any of the charred flavor that we would have had by cooking this over charcoal. So maybe maybe that entire process was worthless after all. If anything, we've learned our lesson. In the future, when making your own homemade pumpkin puree, just make it in the oven like every single recipe suggests. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, evidently. Okay. Turns out an oven is a bit easier and consistent of a heat source to work with compared to charcoal. Who could have seen that coming?
Moist and steamy both. Yeah, I mean, like they look very stringy here from like what you can see here, but they were definitely softer than I think the camera makes them appear. So they were in pretty good shape. Like pumpkin flesh by default, I guess, is kind of stringy, but if you mash it up, you can kind of get rid of that.
Blend this bad boy up, shall we? Now, you're wondering, probably, blend? How are you going to blend this? You're in the middle of a park. Well, it turns out this park right here that we're in has electrical outlets in this little picnic shelter.
Oh.
I will admit, I didn't actually test these electrical outlets to confirm that they did in fact provide power in advance, but they have outlets, so in theory, we can just plug our blender into that and then just blend these up. Surely it's gonna work, right? Absolute worst case scenario, I guess I can just kind of try to blend this by hand, like just by like using a fork to stir it up, but Yeah, ideally I'd like to just make this work in a blender, because that's going to be A, faster, and B, produce a better, I guess, puree, if you will. So, all right, let's see if this works. There's a outlet, like, basically coming out of the shelter over there, like it's right there, okay? So let's see if we can make this work.
Hey, Joel.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
The blender. Bought that shit like 12 years ago, still going strong. Extension cord, because I thought ahead. Okay. Oh. Those look like outlets, all right. It says not, what is it? There's text here. Frig only, not a something. Whatever. That probably just means that the power is going to work extra well. Okay. Oh, moment of truth. Is this turned on? Oh, shit. Yes, it does. Okay.
I don't know what I would have done had this
Okay.
electrical outlet not actually worked.
Hey, Joel,
I was
hey,
kind of
buddy.
relying on that, but then I thought in
bud.
advance, like, wait, did I ever actually test the electrical outlet? So thankfully it worked.
All right. This isn't exactly what I'd call a stable surface, but do our best. All right.
Yeah,
make
there
sure
goes
the
Danley
camera's
pretending to be
got,
poor again,
framed
stealing
properly
electricity
here.
from the city.
The joys of solar production. All right. Let's give it a go.
This fucking kid in the background, dude, just started creeping on me super fucking hard.
I think I'll start with like half of this, maybe?
Bro. And I knew he was there too, but I was like, what do I do? Turn around and be like, get the fuck out of here, kid. Real subtle, kid, real subtle.
It says basically just add water whenever needed. So we'll start with like this amount and just add in water and hope it turns into like a sort of a paste consistency, I guess.
Should have called on him a gamer
Maybe.
word. Oh my.
Okay, I think we need water. Okay.
Indiana Gypsy.
If anything, maybe I should get my wood spoon. Where did I put that?
I didn't know he was doing this the
There
whole
it
time.
is. Off in Narnia. Okay. Oh, yeah.
31 months. Wow, time really flies. Good luck blending this pumpkin with that child.
Thank you, sir. Your stuff will go directly to the Hot Pockets Doritos and
All right.
children staring at me fund.
Come on, baby. Blend for me, please. Okay, not blending brilliantly right now, but I think we add more water. I think it's still going to work. Okay, if anything, it's going to boil down once we put it in the pot, so don't mind it being a little too watery.
You get that
Come on,
tongue
baby.
consistency.
Okay, there we go. And it's starting to work. Sort of. Kind of. Oh. It's not ideal. I think ideally you'd want a food processor for this entire job here, but I think if we... It's definitely turning into like a paste consistency, as you can see, right? So like... Okay. I think what I do is add a little bit more water. And just repeat this over and over until we get something smooth.
I was trying to get it so that way it'd be like liquidy, but only just barely. That's the consistency I was going for. Maybe like the consistency of like a little less thick than tomato paste. Yeah, I'm sure the kid was just curious as to what the fuck was going on. Like, I get it. I would have been curious too as a kid. Shit, I'd be curious as an adult as well.
It's like barely blending now. It's not bad. It's not bad. think it needs like a little more water, but I think I'm now confident this is going to work at least. That is good news. Good news.
Yeah, it was blending perfectly, actually. I think by the time I'd taken it off the grill, I think the amount it was cooked was actually just about perfect. It took longer than I was hoping, but it did ultimately end up baking to a consistency that I was looking for. Because it was not undercooked, like it was definitely soft at this point, but it was not so overcooked that it was just like falling apart, so it's about right.
Now, it's not maybe exactly perfect like you'd expect out of the can that we had earlier that we were using for the pumpkin spice latte.
It was pretty close, honestly.
You can kind of see like a nice little paste going in it. It's thick though, it's quite thick, but you know, add enough water to it and I think it's fine. Alright. Let's incorporate a bit more pumpkin and I guess
Dark flecks were the smoky bits? Yeah, that's what I figured.
I don't know exactly how much of this is equivalent to 1 can. I can already tell you based on how much is in here, I think we don't need all of the pumpkin that we've been using so far, but we'll see. I kind of want to blend all of this up anyways, just because I don't want it to go to waste, but
like those other 3 pumpkins already did?
Just how much we actually end up needing, because I don't think we'll need all of it. All that work just to use probably half. Oh, Joel, no.
Got easier and easier as I added more.
Okay. More water. But we're chilling. I think ideally, like I said, use a food processor for this because I don't want to make this too thin, but in order to make a blender work, you do have to make it kind of thin.
Yeah, I think the final product that I made ended up being maybe a little thinner than like what you get out of a can, but the good news is if you're just going to cook with it anyways, then like in theory all the extra moisture should just boil off. In theory.
Gotta get up all the thick part of this puree from the bottom and get like the thinner part below so that way it blends consistently. Because like ideally you want to make that nice little like vortex in your blender where the entire thing is being blended at once. Oh shit, I think we're getting that now. Okay. Got a little Satan's butthole action in there now. You can tell. A little Satan's butthole. Okay. A little butthole. Okay. Joel's been struggling today, boys.
It's okay, Joel. Still love you, bud.
Okay. I think as far as how much we need for the recipe, I think this is already more than enough. If anything, this blender has little measurements on the side, so let's just see. How much do we have in here right now? We have 3 cups, which is how many ounces? That's what I want to know. How many cups are in an ounce? Fuck. Is it 8? Or no, 8 ounces in a cup, right? So we want 15 ounces, I believe, is what the recipe calls for. Right? Oh.
Glad I remember this off the top of my head.
No, it's 29. Okay, so we want 29 ounces, which is approximately 3. There's 8 ounces in 1 cup. So 29 ounces would be 3.5 cups or so. Okay, so this is on the little side thing for the cup measurement. This is right around 3, okay? That's the 3 mark right there, so. Okay, we're almost there actually, but let's add a little bit more. Okay. A little bit extra pin.
Turns out math was about correct, right? 3.5 cups, so that's 8 ounces per cup, so it'd be 24 plus 4, so 28, and we needed to use technically 29, so like close enough.
Chance to thicken it up right here when we add more like this, so it's kind of good actually that we get to add more.
My blender was working like really hard though.
All
I
right,
think by
that
the
is
very
actually
end of
blending
this,
very, very nicely.
you could start to smell like the motor burning a little bit. So I was like, oh, okay, so better stop there.
Satan's butthole right there, baby. Yes. Oh, shit.
Oops.
Okay, presentation might have griefed me a little bit there, but you get the idea, right? Satan's butthole, all right. Yes, sir. Volume-wise, let's see what we're up to now. That's a good consistency, too. It's like nice and thick. Yes, sir. Consistency, let's see. We're still at about 3 cups, I guess. Yeah, a little bit more. Well, okay, we've almost used all the pumpkin at this point, like most of it at least, so. This is like the last half of the second one, so. Okay.
Kid sitting right next to me. This is Satan's butthole.
Might need a little more
Hey,
water
fuck
now
off,
since we're
thankfully.
thickening this up so much. Maybe not.
That blender looks like it's from charity. Yeah, it's just another ploy to try to convince my viewers that I'm not rich as fuck. It blends. It gets the job done. I think I bought it from Walmart like 10 years ago, but hey, if it works, it works.
Come on, I need Satan's butthole right here. It's trying so hard. Oh, it's getting close. All right, Satan's
chips
butthole is forming,
plus
boys.
mango is fire.
That's good news. That's good news.
Hey, give it all the shit you want, but I mean, shit. It turned out the way I was hoping.
Barely
it would turn
going,
out.
but as long as it's going, that's all that matters. That means that the entire thing is currently being blended,
Very thick butthole. Oh my.
and not just the bottom. Okay. I think we've got ourselves all the puree we could possibly use and need. Cool. All right. Well, man, is this really just 1 can? This feels like a lot. Was I correct about that measurement? 8 ounces in 1 cup?
I'd normally ask my phone, but
fluid
the problem
ounces
is my
minute?
phone was filming, so I couldn't use my phone to figure it out.
Because I don't want to fuck this up, obviously. I'm probably correct. It's probably fine. Yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. So, I guess there we go. We got a little bit of pumpkin left over, but whatever. We used the vast majority of it, so that's the good news. Just a little extra that fell out. Let's taste it. See what it tastes like. Yep, tastes like pumpkin. Okay. Makes sense to me. Let's bust out the rest of this recipe and get this shit going, because we are losing daylight based on how much the sun has left. We got like maybe an hour of daylight left, so. Okay.
Your wife did bring up a good point. She's not really sure the word Satan's butthole should come up while you're cooking. Something about
Give you guys
safety?
a bit more of a
Nah.
zoomed out view
Satan's
now. So I
butthole
think
adds
really
extra
all we need to
spice.
do is
It's
just
like the secret
get
ingredient.
the pot heated up. And yeah, we're not doing this over the charcoal grill. I know that will take
Satan's butthole is
way
what
too
you
long at
what
this
it looks
point,
like
so
after
that is not happening.
you've consumed food cooked outside over the
Well,
course
you know
of
what?
4
Okay.
hours. It's the
I
end
did say
result.
this, okay? Here's what we're gonna do. We can at least start and try. If anything, we can just heat up the pot on the grill. Here's why I'm thinking maybe I can make this work. I can put the pot directly on top of the grate, or sorry, on top of the coals, because I can lift up the grate right here. Okay, here.
Oh look, streamer trying
Lift
something
up the
he should
grate
have tried
like
3
so.
hours ago.
And then once you do that, you can just put the pot, in theory, directly on top of these coals. So maybe what if I add more coals, basically just all of the rest that I have left. Maybe, just maybe, this will get hot enough as long as the thing, like I said, just sits directly on top. Maybe this will get hot
What a
enough to
concept.
So cook this. Maybe.
What
If
a brilliant
not,
idea you could have thought of earlier.
we can go with our backup option of the propane stove. Because like I said, we know that will work. But it's much less interesting. That is for sure. Also, I'm very, very glad the blender did work and that the power outlets were functioning, because I can pretty confidently say if I had to do that shit by hand, that'd have taken forever, and I'm not even sure it would have worked ultimately. I'm not even sure if it would have ultimately...
Nor did I have a bowl to do it
consistent
in.
enough to actually turn into paste. We'll never know, but...
I guess I maybe could have done it like in this pot right here, but it'd have been
okay, well, you can
not
tell,
ideal.
This is still hot, obviously. I mean, these coals are just bursting into flames ASAP, so... Ow! Whoa! Okay, yeah, that's hot still. Oh. Yeah, still hot. Still hot. Maybe this will cook with just the pot chilling on top of the coals. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna work. Maybe perhaps I gave up on the charcoal too soon. Okay. I have to flatten this out a little bit because the pot needs to sit directly on top. All right, well, one or two more coals maybe.
Fuck it, you got that entire bag. At least you did.
But yeah, okay. You know what, maybe that will work. If anything, we've got the cast iron Dutch oven for a reason, right? For cooking over direct open flames, so if there's ever a time to at least try, I guess it's now. Sure, why not? Okay, so, speaking of the cast iron Dutch oven, well, here it is. I guess it's time to get out the laptop again and just read about the recipe and see what we're supposed to do, because everything's prepped at this point. We just have to actually put the stuff in the pot and just let her rip.
3 hours and 5 minutes into the stream, we're actually finally beginning to make the main dish we were planning on making the entire time.
I think I need to lift off the other side of the grate as well at this point, so that way the pot will fit. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. So what are we supposed to do here? We are. I'm just literally just starting with this recipe now, looking at the instructions. Okay, place a large sauce pot over medium
Computer
heat.
set up ready for Twitch chat.
Is
Never
that medium
appeared.
heat?
Sag.
Sure, why not? Add the ground pork that we have. Break into small pieces with a wooden spoon. Add chopped onion, bell pepper, garlic, chipotle peppers. Oh, right, we didn't chop up chipotle peppers earlier. I was supposed to do that. Okay, hold on. Let's prep those real quick. I want to make sure everything's ready to go. Well, you know what? We'll put the pot at least on the flame so that way it begins heating up, and then we'll chop the pepper while we wait. How about that?
So thankfully, I do have the cast iron
Oh,
Dutch oven here that I originally got for the birthday
good.
stream, and I got the one that has the legs on the bottom. So basically, it's designed to be able to sit on top of coals. Now, normally be sitting on top of coals in a campfire, but
in theory,
obviously charcoal coals pretty similar. So this is the first time I think I've ever used this pot for like its
Hope it
intended
does.
purpose of sitting on top of
Never know.
coals to cook. Am I going to do a cooking turkey stream for Thanksgiving? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to tune in when the time comes.
let's chop up the peppers, like I said. Now, I think when you're making a half recipe, you only actually need to chop up one pepper, but I'm trying to make this a little spicier, I think, than the recipe originally calls for, just because, if anything, this was inspired by the spicy chili contest that I saw in the brewery, so let's...
yeah, the recipe is self-described as like spicy pumpkin chili, but
the half recipe would only require one, shall we?
when I link it in chat again, you'll see that if you look at the ingredient list, honestly, it doesn't appear to be an ingredient list that'll make it particularly spicy.
The direct flame actually clutches it for the cast iron pot here. I don't know. I mean, it's literally what it's made for, right? So we'll see. We'll see.
I was a little worried about that part.
It's sitting directly on top of the heat source, right? There's no more grate. There's no more air in between. So I don't know, man. If any like cooking method was going to work today using charcoal, I feel like the cast iron just sitting directly on top of the coals has the best chance of success. All right. God damn, that's one really large pepper right here. Yeah. Oh, that's huge. Okay, you know what? Maybe maybe we're just gonna use one actually. I kind of forgot how big these were. I'll just eat this one.
What is that?
Oh, it's kind of hot. Okay.
Chipotle pepper in adobo sauce.
Pretty good,
which
but
is kind of spicy.
okay, kind of hot. Oh, buddy. Okay. Can't forget my pumpkin spice latte just sitting over here. Yeah,
Rabbit's
shit.
still there? Yeah, that's the the piece of rabbit flesh that I just got out of the can here, of course.
All right, gotta chop this up. Wonder how hot that is. Doesn't feel hot when I put my hand over it, so that's not encouraging, but we'll see.
Spicy big boy pepper. Yeah, that was a chunky one right there. God damn.
Whew, that was hot, but tasty.
For those that don't know,
Keep all
basically
the
what I
seeds
think
in
these
there,
are
and
is they're
keep the
essentially just
spice
red
for sure.
jalapenos that have just been sitting in that sauce the entire time, like kind of getting
Okay.
juicy.
It's all right.
It's not like a chipotle pepper is not like its own specific type of pepper. It's just like a not pickled. I don't know, but
It's
like
definitely
basically it's
bright
like
red
a
and angry looking, so okay.
moistened jalapeno.
If it feels like it's not enough, I can always add more, like when we do the taste test later,
Adobo
I
peppers
guess,
will
but, all right.
murder a white cutting board. Yeah, oh well.
Sunglasses are officially off. It's no longer
Safe
all
to
that
say
bright
this cutting
outside.
board's been through a lot of shit at this point anyways. Doesn't need to be pristine anymore.
Let's do a heat check. Let's see. Do I have any water laying around? If we pour some water over this and it sizzles, I guess we know it's Gucci. Oh shit. Okay. God damn. Okay. Okay. Puh. Well, that seems encouraging. All right, fuck it. Let's give it a shot. Up you go, chat. Get your uppies. Well, maybe I'll put you on the other side. Maybe you get a better POV over here. Yeah, there we go. That's better. All right. Oh yeah. Now I'm kind of hoping it's not too hot. I guess we're gonna find out. But
This is like the first time I had to be
Only
concerned
problem with
about,
this
wait,
method
is
is
the
it's not
charcoal
really-
going to be too hot?
super easy to adjust the heat. But let's hope this works out fine. Let's not have this be too precarious. Look. All right, there's fine. All right, so first things first, we need to add the ground pork. We have ground pork just sitting here in our cooler this entire time, just waiting patiently. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, ghetto ass
Get my
Ziploc
wooden
bag.
spoon, because that's also going to act as our spatula. All right, still got pumpkin on it, but whatever, who cares? All right, maybe toss a little oil in there so we get a nice little sear on the outside here. Because I'm all fancy and bougie like that, of course.
It's like I almost know what I'm talking about.
Okay. That's hot, all right. That's hot. All right. Is that POV good? Just make sure you can see the inside of the pot. Yeah, we're Gucci. Okay. All right. In you go. Oh, that's not good. Okay, it's not the most stable I've ever seen, but
Which is going to make it fine when I put in
Come on,
a
baby. Lean
giant
back to
vat
the
of like
side for me.
liquid inside too, right?
God damn it. Hold on, hold on. Oh, lift the handle and try to readjust this. Not burning the shit out of myself, ideally. Come on, baby. Sit there. Sit there for me. All right.
So yeah, wasn't concerned about the heat at this point. It was ripping hot at this point. You can see that oil sizzling. So this was working. This was the first time all day where it's like I had the amount of heat that I was actually looking for, if not more.
Yeah, still not completely even on there, but I think we'll definitely also have to toss some more coals in there eventually because we kind of just smushed all these coals that we got. But that'll get the job done. Just want to basically fully brown this pork, I believe. Get nice and hot. I guess what I can do if I have to, I can just take this off, like take the pot off the coals, and then put on more coals and put the pot back on, right? So it's not like I have to worry about like the current coals being all I have for the rest of the entire experience. Still have a decent chunk of charcoal left. That's the good news.
Stop poking it. I was trying to like break it up and flatten
In fact,
it
if
out.
anything, maybe I'll just put some charcoal like around the edges already right now. Maybe that's already something I can do. Let's see how well these combust if I just kind of put them on the outsides. They're not instantly bursting into flames, so they're not like, it's not that hot, I guess, on the outside, but I can always readjust these later if we do end up needing to take this off the coals, I guess. But, okay, the good news is it's almost not the worst thing in the world that the coals got a little scuffed, because now it's not as ridiculously hot as it seemed like it was there for a second, which is for the best, because I don't want to burn the entire affair. Gotta get that slow simmer, baby. Now, I know that chili, like basically, the longer you simmer it, the better it is, and realistically, we don't have time to simmer this shit all day long. So I'll probably simmer it about like 30 minutes or so. And then
30 minutes was like the bare minimum simmer time the recipe said, so I had to just say, fuck it, I'll go with that.
Okay.
At this point, I had about an hour of daylight left.
Okay, well, it's cooking, obviously. Man, you know what I should have probably done from the start? I probably should have just baked the pumpkins in the Dutch oven directly on top of the coals. I guess that in reality might have been the play.
Well, now I know, but yeah.
You can tell, I guess I'm new at this, right? It is called Clueless Bachelor Cooking, after all.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. This was by far the most successful method of like cooking with the charcoal.
I am tempted to real quick add some more coals, because I think, as far as I can tell, just based on sound alone, it's not quite as hot as it was here.
I should have cooked the pumpkins like this. I should have done the pumpkin spice latte like this, and at least thankfully I did the chili like this.
Because we want like some of that char on the outside, right? We're not really getting that right now. All right, hold on.
Turns out using the cast iron pot for its exact design, like function, intention, worked well. Imagine that.
Oi, oi, oi. Careful, SpongeBob. Oi. Okay. Take those off. Add some more coals on top of the pile. Quickly now, so that way
you could tell how much more effective this was by the fact that, like, okay, so I'm going to put coals on here, of course. Hold on, patience.
Oi. Okay, you know what?
So you can tell the coals here on their own, they're not that hot, just based on the fact that you put I put the charcoal on here and it just kind of sits there and doesn't burst into flames or anything like that.
Whatever, dude. Right,
couldn't I flip the metal grate over and put the pot on that? I mean, that's what I've been trying for the past 3 hours. No offense, Connexus, but you're clearly late if you think that's the solution here.
We are starting to get low on charcoal at this point, too, so...
Bought this giant bag thinking it'd be way overkill. It turns out I ended up going through literally all of it.
The rest of the time, to be honest.
So anyways, you can see the coals, like, on their own right there were, like, not that hot. But the thing that was clutch about the cast iron pot was...
Pot back on. I think, if anything, the pot will contain the heat better underneath the rest of the coals, so that way they'll ignite once we put that on there. Okay, cool. Is that how science works? Maybe. Maybe.
It did exactly that.
Like,
as soon as you put the pot on top, all of a sudden, like, all the heat gets like contained and like much more concentrated just into the pot, and yeah, all the charcoal then burst into flame.
Get hotter, and that was not particularly fun. So, if anything, it's nice that I assume that I got to fast forward through that entire process, and we can just stick to the fun stuff, like, you know, this right here, for example. Because this part's satisfying, I gotta say. The fact that this coal kind of bed of coals with the cast irons working beautifully is pretty cool. This right here, this is probably the exact part that I wanted. This is how I wanted this shit to work the entire time. Buddy.
Now I know.
All right. By the way, this would represent the last sip of the pumpkin spice latte. Cheers, boys.
Not in frame. Okay.
Ah, it was tasty. Is it worth the entire process that I just went through to make it? Honestly, if you have like just already like pre-bought pumpkin puree, actually probably yes. Like the part obviously that took the longest was heating up the pot, because charcoal takes fucking forever, surprise, surprise, to heat a pot up. And then I guess like, I mean, I guess I was using the canned pumpkin puree, but yeah, just heating up the pumpkin puree took forever. But once again, that's just solely because the heat source was scuffed. But as long as like you just like do it on an actual stove, honestly, man, I'd probably make my own homemade version of that again.
I'll link the recipe now in chat.
Pretty good.
Yeah, basically the
Okay,
lesson
I'd say
learned
the
is
pork
just
is
use a real stove. Just get
looking
pumpkin puree from a
pretty Gucci
can.
at this point.
It'll take 10 minutes and then it'll be pretty good.
Definitely hotter now that we put more coals on, so that was worth.
This entire fucking hour and a half long process to make it, not worth. At that point, just
Okay,
go to
cool.
Starbucks.
What's next?
It's nice to watch. Yeah, it's
These
cozy.
veggies a little bit further away. That's getting a little precarious. All right, next
This part was great because it was working well at this point. First 3 hours that were a little annoying.
Add the chopped onion, bell pepper, garlic, and chipotle peppers. Cook until the meat is browned and the onions are soft. I can do that. Ooh, that is hot. Very hot.
It's hot enough to the point
Catch this plate on fire, dude.
I was concerned the plate was gonna light on fire. So anyways, yes, we're cooking the onions and the peppers and the garlic and the meat juice as Connexus suggested.
Alright. Got all that shit in there. I'm assuming we're supposed to add the chipotle pepper. Yes, sir. Okay. That one we just got chilling right here off to the side this entire time. That should definitely add some heat to the entire affair. Like spicy heat, obviously temperature heat we've already had for a while. Okay. And then, is that it? Add the chopped onion, bell pepper, garlic, chipotle. Oh, you know, I should have brought pepper. I didn't, fuck. As in like the seasoning pepper. I didn't bring any pepper, so I could just like add that in, because you always want like salt and pepper stuff, right? And all right, might have fucked up on that part, but oh well.
Recipe didn't call for pepper, but I feel like I should have added some anyways. If I were to make this again, I absolutely would add some pepper.
Man, this is looking, smelling good now, baby. Took us way too long to get to this part, but now that we're at this part, oh buddy, that's looking good, dude. That cast iron doing some fucking work. You know what I'm also gonna do? Let's add in some of the liquid from the chipotle can here. Not the actual more pepper part, but just some of the liquid. Some of that extra spice in there. There we go.
That was a good call. If you're going to make this recipe yourself, do that.
Because I don't mind if
maybe
this
even
is
a little bit more
on
than
the
I did.
spicier side, because after all, it is supposed to be spicy pumpkin chili.
Chilies and adobo are amazing. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to stick to the recipe at least somewhat,
Okay.
but what I was trying to do was make it spicier than I was thinking that the recipe was going to make it. So doing that right there definitely helps.
Chunks are broken up decently, because I want like massive pork chunks in the chili.
This smelled so good, dude, at this point already.
So, supposed to let this basically cook until the meat is brown and the onions are soft. Yeah. Then after that, we'll pour the pumpkin puree and other stuff in there. Then we'll add chili powder, cumin, salt, cinnamon. I really should have brought pepper, like I said. This recipe doesn't call for pepper, but I feel like you always want to throw, like you're throwing salt in anything, like throw pepper in too, but oh well, too late now. Anyways, basically all the seasonings after that, and then we'll just let it simmer for like, I don't know, 30 minutes it says, minimum. Ideally longer, but like, you know, time is of the essence, so 30 minutes will probably get the job done. Yeah. It's looking good though, man. I don't know. Looking kind of nice. Definitely looks like what a chili base is supposed to look like. That's good.
Look at that steam, baby. Beautiful. This part was really satisfying to cook like this. I wish I'd just done this from the start, like I
Be a little
said.
close up of what we're working with here.
Because this was working so well. I was like, oh, looked amazing, smelled amazing, sounded amazing.
Buddy. All right.
Had that sizzle.
Looks pretty good, dude. Looks pretty good. Now, we're probably going to have just 30 minutes if you're just sitting here on our hands with nothing to do. But the good news is, I guess because, pre-recorded, we'll probably just skip over that part and just do the magical cooking show thing. We're just like, and now it's 30 minutes later and it's ready. Wow. Cool. Can probably clean up a bit while I do that because, in theory, I got to be over at my friend's place like around, I don't know, hour and a half from now. So hopefully I can make that on time. We'll see. I told them between 6 or 7. I guess we're fine.
Because keep in mind, like I told my friends, like I'm gonna come over and basically bring chili so we can have it for dinner. So I was like, well, shit, I gotta finish
this. Get fucked, losers. Okay, so I think at this point we're probably looking pretty good in there. This entire affair, because I'm talking about just IRL shit that you're not a part of. Get fucked, losers. Okay, so I think at this point we're probably looking pretty good in there. This entire affair is looking pretty decent. Onions are looking pretty translucent, which is what you want. I think at this point, oh yeah. I think at this point we're add the rest of the shit and let it start simmering. Okay, cool. All right, so the pumpkin puree. Now, like I said, it's supposed to be 1 can of this. So let me show you what 1 can looks like. We'll compare it to what we currently have. Here is 1 can of pumpkin, great value, of course, versus this. Yeah, so I'm going to go in and say that what we made is definitely larger. Wait, is it 1 can or is it 2 cans? I think, wait, is it actually 2 cans? Oh shit, okay, so it's supposed to be double this. So it's supposed to be a 29-ounce can. This is a 15-ounce can. So it's supposed to be basically essentially 2 of these cans. Is this 2 of these cans?
Out of range?
Actually, that's probably pretty close, honestly. That's probably pretty close. I mean, we did the math, right? This is about 3.5 ounces and 3.5 cups, and 3.5 cups should be approximately 29 ounces or so, right? So, like, okay, fuck it, just send it. Fuck it.
Double check the math later. Yes, I was correct.
Right, so pour the pumpkin puree in there. All right, come on out, buddy. Oh, yeah, it's looking thick. That's a thick boy. God damn. In fact, let's get the wooden spoon and help this out. Hopefully the structural integrity of the coals underneath can handle the extra weight of all the rest of the ingredients.
Yeah, for as much work as it took and as much time as it
Fingers
took,
crossed on that front.
The pumpkin puree came out perfectly, man. It's exactly what I was hoping for.
All that fucking work just to get to this point where we can have our own pumpkin puree to pour into the chili. Was it worth all the extra effort just to make our own homemade pumpkin puree? To be completely honest, I doubt it, but oh well. Keep in mind, this pumpkin puree is what we made from the pumpkin that we cut in half earlier with an axe. So that part was fun, I'll say that. I enjoyed the wielding of IRL Shadowmourne. And it kind of directly led to this pumpkin puree right here. So, I mean, I will say that. Like, basically, just starting from the raw form of, like, an actual pumpkin and turning it into, like, this is admittedly at least more... I mean, it's more interesting, I guess, than just getting it directly out of a can, right? It's a lot more work, and it's arguably not really any better tasting. Probably just tastes exactly the same. It's just pumpkin after all, but... Let's put it this way. Would I ever do it if I was just on my own and not for content? Probably not, but... I don't know. Maybe this was worth it. Maybe. Alright, whatever. Got most of it. Close enough.
It was an interesting experience, let's put it that way.
Right,
I'll never do it again.
Add, let's see here. Oh, stay. Supposed to add some hard cider to this recipe. Those that might have read the recipe earlier might have seen that part and been like, hard cider? Yes, sir. Add in some alcohol. Never a bad idea. So, we got ourselves a Angry Orchard hard cider here that we're going to toss in there. It says just add for half recipe. The whole recipe calls for 2 bottles, so one half recipe, we're going to add 1 bottle. I was chilling this bottle the entire time. It just occurred to me maybe I shouldn't have chilled it because now it's just going to cool the pot down, but whatever.
So yeah, it sounds like kind of a weird combo. Apple hard cider and pumpkin and like chili, but
Okay.
what the recipe called for.
I'm glad I brought as much charcoal as I did. I bought like the economy fucking bag thinking like, just in case, I shouldn't need this much, but you never know, right? But
You
in
need it? Well,
hindsight,
we'll see what
turns out
happens
I'm
with the
gonna
taste
basically end
test, I
up using
guess.
literally all of the charcoal. So, turns out, I guess I was paranoid for a reason. All right, now, that being said, I mean, I could have used a lot less charcoal had I just simply taken more advantage of just using the cast iron pot directly over the coals. I was dumb to try to just use the grate on top. But
Had I done just this from the
that's why we
start,
call it Clueless Bachelor Cooking. We're clueless, but as we do these streams, we get slightly less clueless over time. That's the idea. All right, so an entire little can of kidney beans here. Come on. Kidney beans. So I'm supposed to use... I don't want to use all this juice here. Let's get some of that juice out.
slightly pink coom, some bean
In fact, let
coom.
me just drain all the juice. I think it's already liquidy enough in there without the extra kidney bean juice. Plus, I don't really know if you want kidney bean juice in your chili anyways. Ugh. It's like this can is pissing blood. Monka. Oh, you can't
Kinda
see this,
gruesome.
but it's a little gruesome. Basically, it looks like we're dripping like reddish, pinkish fluid that's kind of slimy out of this can. It's a little questionable looking. Okay.
Look at that simmer. Yeah, for as much trouble as
Also,
I've
another
had
reason
all
I
day
made a half
long.
recipe is simply because I don't think I mean, this pot can definitely not fit a full recipe. It's obviously already getting sort of full with a half recipe.
For as much struggles I had all day, like getting the heat to where I wanted it to be, once I had it like in this little setup, like with the cast iron pot sitting on top of the coals, the heat was like mwah, perfect, as good as if I was just doing it on a stove.
All right, and then we need, let's see here.
Yeah, this is where the legs at the bottom
chicken.
of the cast iron helps too, because yeah, you're saying the coals are stable. Like I think the legs themselves are actually sitting just on the grate, and so the point of the legs is so that way that the legs can stand on like a solid surface, and the coals still have room underneath to be able to do their thing.
Broth, which I made earlier.
Yeah, I did a half recipe of this.
Sketchy looking.
Would have made a
little mason
shitload of
jar
chili
now.
if I did a full thing. For what it's worth,
Half a
the half recipe served 3 pretty comfortably, like a full meal for 3. So I'd say if you make the full recipe, it'll serve about 6, maybe 7.
In you go.
Yeah, if I made a full
Yep,
recipe, you
that
need
pot's
a big
definitely
ass
pretty much
pot.
as full as you can make it without like having to worry about overflow. So, yeah, I'm pretty glad that I went with what I did as far as the half recipe is concerned instead of the full recipe. Okay, and then let's see. Now we add chili powder, like so, which we're using 2.5 tablespoons. Divide that by 2, so about a tablespoon and a half, or a tablespoon and a quarter. Oh look, a tablespoon measure. How about that? Now this will add a decent amount of spice to the dish as well. Okay.
Man,
And
this makes me hungry, dude.
then 1 tablespoon of cumin. A little cumin for the boys. I'm gonna coom. I'm a coomer. This one, honestly, well, I was gonna say just like eyeball it, but half a tablespoon.
Any leftovers? No spoilers.
That's a little more than we need. Close enough. All right, we've officially coomed. Okay. And then 2 teaspoons of salt. That one I'm not going to bother measuring, or I guess 1 teaspoon and a half recipe. So that one we'll just sort of use our fancy kosher salt and just be like, a little bit more. All right. And then, almost there. Cinnamon. Okay, we need how much cinnamon? 1 teaspoon. Yeah, I think I'll just eyeball that. It's a half a teaspoon, I guess, in the...
Half of it
Half
just gets
recipe.
blown away by the wind.
Oh.
Cool.
Little more. All right. And then 1 to 2 bay leaves. I'm sure you've all heard this rant before if you watch enough cooking streams. I'm still not fully convinced that this bay leaf shit does actually anything at all, but hashtag trust the process, I guess. All right, there you go. I'd like that one and like maybe like a little tiny one as well. Kind of tiny bay leaves, in fairness. Come on. Come on. There we go. Tiny ass bay leaf. All right, now we mix her up, baby. Yes, sir. And in theory, you'll wait 30 minutes and this will become chili. In theory.
In theory.
Also, this feels kind of unstable. Let me see if I can restabilize this over the coals. The last thing I fucking want is just tipping over mid-cooking process and just spilling all over the place and then rip dinner. Oy. Okay, come on. Come on, work with me, bud.
Oh, careful, SpongeBob.
Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Like I said, might have to take this off the quote-quote burner. Maybe just before we let this start simmering and just like have a new fresh round of coals on top of here to just kind of like make sure the heat gets up to snuff. And I don't think I want to cover this. I do think I want to let this simmer down a bit so that way it hopefully thickens up a bit.
Yeah, when I first poured everything in like this,
yeah,
it was
I guess
very
you'll trap more heat
liquidy.
if you put the lid on, but I don't think we want to do that. Especially if I had more coals, I shouldn't be too concerned about the heat anyways.
If I have chili, I don't want it to be like a soup consistency. You want it to be like slop consistency, if that makes sense.
Go.
Is this a stew? No, it's supposed to be chili.
So like I said, let me
But yeah, admittedly,
add more
it's pretty
coals.
watery
Let me take
here.
this off the heat real quick and just throw some more coals on top of this, and then
Hence why I was thinking like maybe no lid, so
we'll
it
just
can
let this,
simmer down.
well, we'll quite literally let it cook. Oy. There real quick. All right.
Well, throw some cornstarch or
used to be
flour to
full, by
thicken if
the
you
way.
want. Yeah, keep watching,
I've
keep
gotta
watching.
reach my entire arm way down into here just to find coals. But hey, guess we got our money's worth. Because realistically, I wasn't going to use these coals for anything else anytime soon, so probably for the best that we're using it for what they're made for, which is cooking food over the course of
Basically, I was using the
4
last bit
hours.
of charcoal I
Thank you.
had in this entire like giant bag that I'd brought that day. I used all of it. I was like, okay, well, I'm glad I brought it, but at the same time, I wasn't even expecting to use like half of it.
All right.
So yeah, now you're gonna truly see just how hot these coals have gotten with the cast iron stove. Watch what happens as soon as I put the pot back on.
All right, on you go. Nice and stable, please. Whoa, careful,
It just
SpongeBob.
immediately
I
lit
like
this
how it just
time. I was like,
immediately
oh,
ignites,
sick.
I guess, once the pot kind of insulates the heat more. That's nice. Okay, that's on there nice and tight. Nice and tight. There's this little onion that's sitting here on top of this surface that's bothering me. There we go. All right, is this pot nice and stable? That's not going anywhere, is it? It's pretty solid. Okay, we're good. Okay, well, chat, now we just need to let this simmer for, like I said, about 30 minutes or so. So I think at this point, since we are in fact just pre-recording, this is the part where a streamer says, let's fast forward by about 30 minutes and see what happens, shall we? Good news is I can see the timer as far as my on my phone for how long the stream has been going. So I've been recording now for about 3.5 hours, which means that if I take it off the heat at about 4 hours into the stream, we should be good to go. Okay. Now, before I do that, though, it's leaning maybe a little bit. See if I can get it.
X vasectomy X. Thank you for the sub, sir. Love you, bud.
All right, so that's getting kind of hot right there, but that's okay. It's going to obviously cool down as the coals go down, so I don't mind it getting hot at the start and then simmering away for a bit. So, okay. I'll see you guys in a bit. If anything, I'm going to take a piss right now, so... actually, you know what? I'll just stop the recording here. No, here. I'll give you guys the money shot. We'll give you a nice little time lapse of the chili cooking, as well as the beautiful scenery in the background.
There we go. Content brain took over. Look at that.
All right, now's the part where I fast forward. I'm gonna take a piss in the meantime.
So yeah, man, this
I
time
gotta
of day was
start cleaning up, 'cause,
beautiful outside, man. It was
clean
so
up the deal. Might
scenic.
as well do that while I'm just waiting for this to cook, anyways.
I just leave my phone there? Yeah, I did. I don't know. There weren't that many people there at that point. I trusted humanity. Cowboy Kent would be satisfied with how stable that pot was. Yeah, it ended up being fun. I'll mute it now since... but we can speed this up as well. Hold on. Give you that time lapse right there. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, we left us here about 30 minutes. But the entire day was a little stressful and at times boring and frustrating because, like, the whole pumpkin baking process and the pumpkin spice latte process was just taking too long, and it was tedious, and it wasn't working very well. It just, like, kind of barely was heating stuff up the way I needed it to. But once I got to this part, man, this part was just like, holy shit, this is living the life, man. Because once, like, the chili was there just simmering, and it was like this beautiful sunset on a really, really nice fall day, man, this was comfy. This part of the day, like this portion right here, like with this cooking method, if I was going to do all this again, what I'd do, I'd say, fuck baking the pumpkin part. Like, that was pointless. Like, pumpkin spice latte, whatever I'm drinking, I'm just going to bring it with me. I'm just going to skip straight to this part, because this part was comfy, dude. Just sitting here. Yeah, like, put, like, some of this music on in the background. Hold on. Come on. Oh my god, YouTube. There we go. Now, this was true, just basic bitch fall enjoyment right here, man. Yeah, get some step twos, exactly. Just bring some brewskis with you. This was the life right here. This part was one of my most... This is part of the... Try this again. This is one of the most relaxing portions of, like, a cooking stream I've ever done. This part was like, I just sat here for a bit during cooking time, like, and just sat there and just chilled and just watched this cook and just looked at the sunset, man. I was also doing some cleanup as well. But, man, this part was comfy, dude. And this, like, the scenery of, like, as this cooked was just, whew, chill. Setting this as your PC background. Yeah, dude, this could totally be like a screensaver, right? Comfy. Here, I'll give you the full immersive experience. I'm gonna go take a piss, boys, and grab something to drink. Just enjoy the scenery for a bit. Take it in. Yes, 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 yes. Ah, so comfy, man. Like I said, this was my favorite part of the entire experience. If anything, I wish I'd just started with this part. Fuck the rest of the stuff like that. Fuck baking the pumpkin, dude. Now, at some point here, I think it's probably now, I did taste it a little bit and decided that it needed more salt. Me being a salt enjoyer, I'm always a little paranoid about adding too much salt to my stuff, like if I'm gonna have other people eat it, because I usually prefer stuff far saltier than most. But I tasted it and was like, I think this needs more salt, so I did end up adding some salt. I think you'll see at some point here. Also playing around the coals, making sure they were hot enough, but you can see it was simmering very well. It was like at like that kind of like that rolling simmer that was like perfect. Oh yeah, look at that baby. Buddy, yes. Was it smaller X? Dude, yes, dude. Yes. Cozy. That's like legit like wallpaper right there, dude. That's nice. Look at that lighting too, that's sick, man. Remind me next time to just do my stream permanently at like 4:30 in the afternoon. People seem to be ripping me up on Reddit. Oh no, random internet strangers don't like me. How will I ever recover? The golden hour, yeah, some Life is Strange shit right here. Dude, this would be kind of sick as an intro, honestly. Just like as like a cooking stream intro, if anything. Dude, that's actually a good idea. Just use this as my video intro for cooking streams. Honestly, man, I like that idea a lot. I think I might do that. Sipping on some knob, enjoying this cozy stream. Yeah, I'm going to the gym after this. Otherwise, I'd be enjoying some knob right now. Absolutely. Not that they don't like me, they just say that I wiped raids so many times. What I'm confused by that, or what confuses me about that, is like, for some reason, apparently according to them, like, making mistakes in a raid is equivalent to like committing some sort of hate crime, as if messing up in the video games makes me somehow a terrible person. Like, sure, I mess up all the fucking time playing the video game. I'm obviously not even anywhere close to perfect. And if people acknowledge that, that's just like, yeah, okay, it's just true. But something that I don't understand is like, this guy's a fucking clown, don't watch this guy, he messes up in the video games sometimes. It's just like, well, yeah, but like, I'm sorry, was that some, is that breaking some sort of law to be bad at the video game? That part always confuses me. Never heard of that guy, Muggs. Huh. How dare I stream the game without being perfect? Never fail a mechanic, what a fake and a fraud. Yeah, it'd be kind of boring if I never failed, right? Now, admittedly, I kind of wish maybe I failed a little bit less. but you know, I present to you exactly what I am, which is a non-perfect gamer trying to be better. Misclick boss mechanics equals worse than Hitler. It's weird how some people seem to kind of take that stance. Like literally, some people just seem to give off the vibe of like, because I'm bad at the video game, it makes me a bad person, which is like always such a weird take. That's a Balthazar. Yeah, welcome to the classic era economy. A little bit more expensive than it used to be. Anyways, that being said, people spurging and hating on me on Reddit doesn't really affect me because I don't really care what random normies who obviously don't watch my stream anyways think about me because, well, if they cared, they'd probably be watching, so. Sorry. Dog, yeah, there were some dog walkers there this time of day that came in eventually. Reddit told me that I wiped raids on purpose and I hit puppies, sometimes even at the same time. He was on one of the earlier seasons of Alone, 2 or 3, I think. Went out early after losing his fire steel on a beach. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I remember that dude. That sucks. There's a couple of people when I've watched Alone that have lost because they lost their fire steel. I'm always just like, damn, that's rough. You have all these survival skills, but they mean nothing if you don't have a way to make fire. So it was at that point that I didn't mean to stop the video, but I tried to take a picture because like iPhones allow you to take a picture while you're also taking video at the same time. But I might have fucked it up and accidentally just stopped the video. So the good news is, don't worry, I realized it in a little while. So a much shorter part 2. Okay. All right. I think at this point I started talking again.
Okay, I think the recording stopped there at some point.
Oh, Monk STEER.
That's okay. I guess you missed out on some of the time lapse, but it's fine because we are done with the time lapse. I think we're just about ready. I don't actually know what time it is right now, but based on how far the sun's set and what it feels like at least, and how this chili is looking, I'm thinking we're pretty much Gucci.
Remember how we were worried about it being
Let me
too
give you a
thin and
little
not thick enough?
idea of what we're looking at now with this chili, because it is looking good as a motherfucker, dude. Oh my. Ah. Come on. So, let's take a look what the consistency of this now looks like. By the way, I never actually had to put more coals on this. It ended up being plenty hot for the entire time, but now it's looking...
Yeah.
It was a little watery when I first had it started going, but now it's looking... Oh!
Thickened up base, baby.
Meaty, dude. I did end up adding a little bit more salt about halfway through the simmering process. You might have seen the time lapse. And now I think it's just about perfect. I taste tested it a couple of minutes
thickened
ago,
up
and
beautifully,
my
man.
God, it tastes
No cornstarch or flour needed.
fucking delicious. All right.
Consistency was...
So I think we're just about ready to take this off. And well, you know what I might do? I might let this simmer a little bit longer as I... Actually, no. I need to transport this in my car soon. I guess so I do need the pot, I guess, to cool down a little bit. But yeah, I guess we're pretty much ready to take this off the heat
I'll
and
comment
just
on
give it a go, 'cause,
what I would do
I'm
differently
hungry,
next
and
time
if anything,
once we're done here.
it's getting late. So,
I mean, let me put it this way. Will I make it again? Yes, absolutely.
Off my wooden spoon a little bit first. Okay. I guess we don't need our tongs now. That's Gucci. Oh. Well, as always, this cooking stream was a lot of work, but
What does
I gotta
pumpkin
say,
taste like?
the end result.
Have you ever had squash before?
I mean, I haven't
It's
tried it
similar
yet
to
for sure,
squash.
but the end result seems like it's going to be pretty damn satisfying, not going to lie. Because come on, you tell me that doesn't look delicious? Also, the lighting outside right now is just absolutely fucking beautiful. It's what you might call the golden hour, right? I mean, come on, that is scenic as fuck.
it's kinda like
dude.
squash.
Holy shit. Wow. All right. So in the meantime, during
beans
this
get all
entire
mashed
time lapse
out?
right here, you might have seen me do the do some
held their form.
background stuff. I have been
Nah, it doesn't
cleaning
taste like
up, so
orange.
for
It's
the
like
most part,
very
actually,
slightly sweet, but not
all the
not
shit
by
that I
much.
had is now cleaned up, and something leave no trace, right? Gotta be a good boy. Public park, public use. Gotta make sure you treat it with respect, of course.
Yeah, similar sweetness as tomato.
I'll show you real quick here. You'll notice that now the disaster that used to be sitting next to this picnic
thicker.
shelter is now nice and cleaned up. Oh shit, look at that. With the bonus chili waiting right here for
Yeah,
me.
if you can find pumpkin and cool something with pumpkin,
Okay,
it's-
so
it'd be a cool new experience if
Let's,
you've never tried it before.
I guess go ahead and take this off the heat.
Hell, make this recipe. I'll link it in
And then,
chat.
You need up. Okay. All right, so
When I slept
guess
in a
we'll just put
box.
this on the little
Good times, dude. Good times.
side table thing for now. Let this cool down at least a tiny bit before we dig in. It's been simmering so about like 30 minutes now, so you know, ideally let it simmer like literally like another hour or two, but oh yeah, I don't have an hour or two, so oh, I call that good enough. Man, the cast iron over the coals worked fucking perfectly, dude. In reality, I really should have just did this from the start. Like I could have done, I could have probably baked the pumpkin in there using that same method, and I probably could have, I mean, I didn't have 2 cast iron pots, but the pumpkin spice latte and with this method would have worked very well as well. So, hey, it's Clueless Bachelor cooking. Now we're a little bit less clueless, and now I know, like, okay, so, you know, charcoal, and then just place cast iron pot directly on top of it. That's the play. That's how you do it in the future. That's how you know how to actually cook with cast iron plus charcoal plus a open pit grill thing here. So, go.
Now we all know.
All right.
Lesson learned.
Let
Slightly
me,
less clueless now.
Actually, fuck it. Oh, he'll come with me. I guess we can take this along with us here. Over to the serving table where Joel is patiently waiting. Hey, buddy. Okay. Yo, 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 yo. The question is, how the fuck am I going to transport this in my car without it spilling? That I don't know.
Very slowly
I'll figure
is
that
the
out
answer.
one step at a time, I guess. Okay. It is officially serving time. I'm hungry. I've not eaten really anything in a while now. I had a pumpkin spice latte. That was good, but now at this point I need
Yeah,
more,
I just drove carefully and slowly, and it
more sustenance.
stayed upright. It was Gucci.
Get in there, Joel. Come on now. Hey, buddy. What's up? Alrighty. Yeah, okay. And grab my water bottle here. Trying to make sure I'm all packed up and ready to go here.
Front seat? Yeah, I put it on the front seat
As soon
just
as
to
I'm
be
done here, we are
extra paranoid and careful with it.
taking this chili over to a friend's place and all devouring it together. Oh, how adorable.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping this would be good, not only just because I wanted it to be good, but also because I was serving it to other people. So I was like, shit, I hope this is good. What game is this? This is called IRL. Awesome graphics,
Time to
shitty
well taste,
gameplay.
right around sunset. Okay, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna probably have the main portion of this later. So because of that, I'll probably just try a little sample here for the boys, of course. Oh man, that thickened up beautifully, dude. This is super fucking thick and rich and amazing. My God, man, look at this. Look at this. Oh, you know what I do have actually? I've got some cheddar cheese to put on top of this. If I was a smart man, I did actually bring a red onion. I was gonna put some red onion over this as well, but I completely forgot to chop that up in the meantime. So we're not gonna do that, but I do have some cheddar cheese I can at the very least put on top of that, and that
Should've
feels
brought
kind of
sour cream
mandatory,
too,
right?
but that's
Borderline. There it is. Boom. Great value, of course.
Of course.
Oh yeah. All right.
Oh, careful, Joel.
Buddy. All right, like I said, I don't need a huge portion here. I'm gonna try a decent chunk of this later for dinner anyways, but let's get some cheddar cheese on top of that shite. Hey Joel, what's up, bud? Want some chili? No, you're a fish, you don't eat chili. Okay. So Chad, here's what we're working with. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I know, nothing visually too impressive. It's chili. I mean, it's not like you can make chili look that bougie, but chili's not supposed to look bougie. It's supposed to taste delicious. So let's test that out, shall we? Hot. Ooh. That's actually fascinating how you can't necessarily tell it's pumpkin. It's good. It's like regular chili, but it's almost like creamier, and it's almost a little thicker and a little bit. It's almost as if I thickened it up using I don't know, some sort of cornstarch maybe, or maybe I thickened it with dairy or something. It's much creamier than a regular chili, that would normally have a tomato base, right? But it's the pumpkin's not. It's subtle, right? It's not obvious. It's not oh wow, that tastes like pumpkin. It's man, maybe using pumpkin as a base for chili instead of tomatoes is kind of goated, because it's basically the same except creamier and just thicker and richer.
I'm kind of a believer
exactly
now,
the way you want chili, I think, right?
to be honest. Pumpkin low-key kind of goated for making chili, I think.
I think two things I could have done differently. I could add maybe a little bit more spice to it. That being said, there's a bit of spice in there, but it's not much. It's not much. Not what I describe as spicy chili. I'd more call it chili with a tiny bit of spice. And then I maybe should have added a little bit more salt. I already added more than the recipe called for. But then I'm always paranoid. It's if I'm making food for other people, I'm paranoid I'm gonna oversalt it, because I like so much salt in my stuff. I've kind of become immune to what is too much salt. So I was paranoid, well, don't add too much salt because I don't want to oversalt it for other people. If it was just me, I'd be fuck it, yeah, I'll oversalt it, who cares? But yeah, I was definitely, like I said, a little bit paranoid that the other people eating it besides me would find it too salty. So I tried to keep the salt a little lower than I normally would. So because of that, for my personal preferences, it's not quite as salty. I mean, obviously you can just add more salt now, so that's obviously a fixable problem. But for normies who aren't like consuming a pound of salt per day, it's actually probably fine. Like I said, my my taste buds are so far skewed towards like the overly salty side that like, for a regular person, I think this is actually probably perfectly salted if I just view this from another POV. I'll probably end up adding a little bit more salt to mine personally, but I get the feeling that when my friends eat this, they'll be like, no, it's salted just fine.
Which is exactly what they said, so.
Had I not been dumb and forgot, I would have added red onions on top of this because that makes chili even better, but
We did later. Was very tasty.
the thing that sucks about a chili is if it's too watery, if it's too thin, if it's more like a soup, then it's just not as satisfying. But this is not that. Like, I was a little worried when I first put this like over the heat because it was really thin. It was really watery, but it definitely thickened up in the pot there as it simmered down. And oh yes, dude, that's the perfect consistency for chili right there. So I knocked that one out of the park. Absolutely. I'll be enjoying a much larger bowl of this for dinner tonight. I can guarantee you that. All right, so I guess we'll call it a stream right here, chat. It got kind of scuffed. I wish I could have streamed it live, of course. Like, that's always annoying when like you think it's gonna work fine and you test it in advance and it works fine. And then the day of, you come to stream and it's like, oh, doesn't work. Sorry, nah, get fucked, loser. You're just like, oh, okay, cool, awesome. But I will say this. The fact that I pre-recorded it wasn't actually the worst thing in the world, simply because there was a lot of periods of time during the stream where I was just like standing there just like, huh, it's not hot enough. Charcoal, needs more charcoal, needs to be hotter. And I was just sitting there thinking like, well, I have nothing to do right now. This sucks. But I guess because I pre-recorded it, it allows me to just skip over that stuff. So that's actually kind of convenient. And, hey, Joel. Hey, buddy. And hopefully you guys at least enjoyed. I'm sure streamers been sitting there watching along with you, and hopefully streamers enjoyed as well. Now that I know how to cook properly, like with this cast iron pot and like knowing what I should do with the charcoal, I definitely want to do this again. I want to cook something else with that method again. I can guarantee that would work for like deep frying stuff like we did over the campfire. That'd be a much more, probably safer and controllable method of deep frying stuff. So that's probably maybe something I could do in the future. But I definitely just want to cook. I mean, I like the spot. I just wish the reception worked better. It is what it is, right? But like, if I can find a place in the future with like decent cell phone reception and have like this style of grill that I just used, that's a really satisfying way to cook stuff right there. I mean, and if you just have to start up a little pile of charcoal and then you just place the pot directly on top, like that doesn't take long at all. That would take like 15 minutes maybe. So like, that's not even that much worse than using something like just a regular stove at that point, right? All right. Anyways, I guess we'll toss it back over to streamer now and he can finish us off. But I think that was a pretty satisfying session of chili consumption there. Did it take way too long like it always does for a Clueless Bachelor cooking stream? Yeah, of course it did, but at least I know myself well enough to plan in advance that it's going to take too long, so that way. It's literally sunset right now. Hold on. Oh. I'm going to show you how well I timed this. The sun is literally setting right now. Look at that. Just going under the horizon now. So, I say streamer at this point timed that just about perfectly. So, anywho, kids, I'll be I'll let streamer do the outro. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure what I'm doing, I have no fucking idea, but we'll figure it out. But cheers to a nice little comfy, I guess technically Sunday. It's Saturday for me, but Sunday for you guys. And make that recipe of chili. I'll link it in chat. Really tasty. You don't have to make your homemade pumpkin puree. Just buy it from the store. It works well enough. And yeah, impress all your friends with your cool pumpkin chili. Wow. Anyways, okay, over to you, streamer. We'll finish off the sunset at least, because this is kind of sick.
Yeah, so like I think the thing is about the chili. Let me put it this way: would I make it again? Yes. In fact, I want to make it again. I'm gonna make it again tonight, and the reason is because I took this over to my friend's place and we devoured all of it. We split it up in 3 separate portions for the 3 of us, and it was a healthy portion for the 3 of us. But we polished that shit off. So when I had the rest of it and my friends had the rest of it, I think there's 3 things we kind of determined for if I was going to make this again. Number 1, I would add more spiciness to it. I'd call, like, it had a spiciness level of, like, maybe for normies, of just, like, barely spicy for normies. But I think for me, personally, I definitely prefer it spicy. And if I were to make it for that spicy chili contest that kind of inspired me to make it in the first place, which maybe I will, I don't know, fuck it. I would definitely want it to be more spicy. So the question is, how do I make that more spicy without actually, like, modifying the flavor too much? I'm not sure. I thought, like, maybe instead of chili powder... Can I chat? Yeah. Instead of using maybe chili powder, I could use cayenne. I thought maybe I could try that. I could also add more of, like, the adobo sauce, I guess. Add some hot peppers like jalapeno. I mean, we already added one of those the chipotle pepper, so yeah, I think maybe I'll add like a second chipotle pepper as well. And then I would also add like the actual seasoning pepper. I think combined like those 3 factors, if I do a little bit more of like those, I don't know about the cayenne, that might change the flavor, but maybe just use more chili powder is the play. Just maybe like double the chili powder. That could be it as well. Because yeah, I think it could be a little bit spicier for sure. It was very tasty, but my friends and I agreed that like the spice level, if I upped it by like maybe 20%, it'd be perfect. Still good as is though. I would have added a little bit more salt for sure. And then like I said earlier, I would have added some pepper as well. But other than that, man, like the consistency was perfect. As you guys saw, the thickness of like, it was exactly what you want chili to be, which is like nice and thick and almost like the slop. Perfect. And the taste was really good. The funny thing is, like I said, like I wouldn't have necessarily, if you just gave it to me without telling me what was in it, I don't know if I would have necessarily been able to guess for sure it was pumpkin. It wasn't necessarily like exactly like a regular tomato chili. Like it was a little different, but you might not have been able to have guessed pumpkin specifically, but it was great because like it was like regular chili, but had this, like I said, this kind of thicker, creamier consistency to it, which I'd never had in a chili before, and it was honestly really good. So, yeah, because I had no leftovers, but I still have at least some of the ingredients that I had surplus of. Here's my plan for the rest of the night. I'm gonna end stream, go to the gym, after the gym, go to the grocery store, buy the rest of the ingredients that I need to redo this, and I'm gonna make this again. And I think when I make this again, I'm gonna probably throw in, like you said, maybe cayenne. Maybe I'll just throw in like a tablespoon of cayenne on top of the chili pepper I already used. I'll throw in more of the adobo sauce, and I'll put some pepper in there. And maybe that might bring the spice level up to like perfect levels, because we don't need to up it by a ton, but just a bit. Stream it? No, I already did. It was 4 hours of doing this not enough for you already? I'll take a picture of it for you guys. How about that? I can do that. And then another thing I would say about this was, I thought that maybe like roasting the pumpkin over the charcoal would give me kind of like a cheat code and infuse some extra like smoky flavor into the pumpkin puree. I'll be honest, I don't think it did. I couldn't really taste any charcoal flavor in there. Largely because I think you had to peel off the skin anyways, and so the skin was the only part that got the char on it. So I think in the future, if I was going to do this again, I would just use canned pumpkin puree. It's fine. Canned pumpkin puree tastes exactly the same, to be completely honest. So, well, it's not worth all the effort to even if you're going to make it in your oven. I don't personally think it's worth the effort to make pumpkin puree from scratch. The can gets the job done just fine, and they're cheap as fuck, right? You think the flavor of habanero would mesh better with pumpkin than jalapeno, personally? Maybe, but I don't necessarily have. I don't know what store around me would sell habaneros, to be honest. I'm gonna try, like I said, what I was suggesting though tonight, which is use probably a tablespoon of cayenne, pepper, and maybe a little bit more of the adobo sauce. That might be enough on its own. We'll see. The scene with the simmering pot on the sun-setting background healed your week. Dude, that was so therapeutic. Honestly, there were some parts of the stream that were kind of boring, kind of scuffed in my opinion, but that part, at least for me, made it all worth it, because that part was just, cozy. Super cozy. So, anyways, kids, I guess we'll call it a stream right there. In theory, we actually played some World of Warcraft at the start and did a Naxx. Turns out those logs were invalid because we forgot a skitterer pack, so rip that. Didn't count as a speedrun. Oh well. Whatever. It's alright. Still had fun and still got to pump, so it's all Gucci. Anywho, I'll be back tomorrow. Stream tomorrow's going to start the normal weekday time of 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 1700 Central European Time. I don't have any raids scheduled for tomorrow, so we might try to maybe squeeze in like an AQ20 if we can find one. Otherwise, maybe do some comfy farming. We'll figure it out. We'll just do something. And then let's see, Tuesday, also no raid scheduled for Tuesday, so that'll probably be also just more comfy farming perhaps. And then, yeah, pretty much same. I mean, we're kind of in a rhythm now. Same schedule every week, right? Wednesday will be the AQ40 with Fun Police. Thursday will be the raid with 5 Sunders, please. No stream Friday. Saturday, we'll do something. Sunday will be Fun Police Snacks and all that good shit. Cool. Anyways, you guys can do ! Discord in the chat if you feel like joining my Discord. It's a place where I post stream news, stream announcements. Anytime I go live, I'll make sure to ping you guys. Place where you can ask me something like, streamer, can I have the recipe for the chili? And if you didn't see me link it already in chat, then sure. Because I saw someone ask earlier, like, what's the favorite thing I've ever made, like, on cooking streams? It's really hard to answer that question because I've made so many different things at this point that were all good on their own. It's kind of hard to compare something like a really good bowl of chili to, I don't know, California rolls. Like, they're both delicious. Like, sometimes you're in the mood for one or the other. But this was one of the highlights. This is one of my favorite things that I've made, especially now if I can tweak it and modify it and improve it. It'll be potentially like in the Hall of Fame, if you will. Anyways, appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate you guys keeping chat lively, as always. And if you're NA, have a good rest of the evening. If you're EU, have a good rest of the night. If you're OC, have a good rest of the morning. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow for some comfy classic era farming. Bye-bye.